speak. Paul Mainieri and the program parted ways over the weekend, and Monty Lee now, as the interim head coach, takes the reins of a Gamecock program that's experienced the highs of winning a College World Series, but the lows of the last season and change. It's never too late to get back on the right track in South Carolina, hoping for a fresh start here in the waning stages of March to get going in the right direction.
Yeah, Monty Lee's had some success in his coaching career over his years, and sometimes that can light a fire under a team, right? And you want to play for your coach, and when you go through a coaching change like that in the middle of the season, maybe they're looking to light a fire under the guys and see what they can do the rest of the season.
Monty Lee's got better than 500 career wins. He coached at the College of Charleston from 2009 to 2015, took the Cougars to 4 NCAA tournaments. Of course, was the head coach at Clemson for a stretch when he went to 4 straight NCAA tournaments at the beginning of his tenure there, but no NCAA tournaments for the last couple of seasons. Hired as an assistant at South Carolina back in August of 2022. Here he is as the interim coach for the Gamecocks going up against the Tar Heels. Carolina clad in all white here today with Carolina blue sleeves and the white ball cap. South Carolina with the black tops and the gray pants, black batting helmets, as the sun hasn't necessarily begun to set, but there's already a whole bunch of shadows across the field. Those skyscrapers looming large in the background. Colby, you played on this field in the regular season. You played here en route to an ACC championship. Outside of getting to Omaha, this is about as good as it gets.
Yeah, this is a beautiful stadium. The playing surface is unreal. It plays about as true and as quick as any field in the country. But those skyscrapers, man, you got some shadows. When it gets dark here and the sun goes down, you got a lot of lights, a lot of buildings, so it's a little different, and sometimes it can play effect on the game and how the guys are seeing the ball.
So here we go. Flannery on the bump. Tyler Bach at the plate to get things started here. Bach, in his junior campaign, bats .293, 3 homers, and he's tied for the team lead with 17 RBIs. Flannery, a righty on the mound. Bach, a lefty at the plate. First pitch. It's a fastball outside, and it's 1-0. The official Reed's Jewelers first pitch time came your way at 6:36. Reed's Jewelers, your home for fine Swiss timepieces, beautiful diamonds, and the world's most luxurious jewelry brands. Second pitch lifted up to the left side. Schaffner couldn't find it initially. That's okay because it's into shallow left field, and there's Carter French to bring it down in the sunlight for the first out of the game. And Colby, you were saying earlier, ball's tough to pick up this time of day.
Yeah, just as we talked about it. We talked about it a little in BP as well. It was tough to see in the air today, and Schaffner lost that one. Luckily, it was deep enough to left to where the outfield could corral it.
So with one down and no score in the top half of the first, Will Craddock at the plate from the right side. Flannery kicks and fires. A fastball down the middle, and it's 0-1 to Craddock, a freshman hitting .342. Tied for the team lead with 5 homers, 15 runs driven in. Flannery's next pitch. Swing and a miss. 91-mile-per-hour fastball. Flannery can get it up into the mid-90s as it's 0-2 quickly to Craddock. Flannery from the first base side of the rubber sends a fastball high. 1-2. The count to Craddock. Big kid, Colby, 6'3", 225 pounds. They grow him big in Anderson, South Carolina.
Yeah, that's really big for the freshman there. And he's had some success this year early, and that's exactly what you want to see out of your freshman. And, that's different these days with the transfer portal. It's a lot of older players in the game now, so it's refreshing to see some of these freshmen be able to come in and contribute right away.
Craddock just fouled off a pitch from Flannery behind the third baseline, so the count's still 1-2. And Flannery fans him on a slider tailing away from the righty. It's 2 down. Flannery records his first strikeout of the game. That's his 9th on the season. It's 2 down for the Gamecocks in the top half of the first with no score. KJ Scobie next up in head coach Monty Lee's Tuesday evening lineup. Good pitch by Flannery. Again, he's always had a super good fastball, but his ability to throw some other things like the cutter and the splitter and the slider has made him a much more polished pitcher as he misfires away from Scobie out in front. 1-0. Scobie, a .301 hitter, awaits from the right side. Flannery delivers high. 2 balls and no strikes. The count to Scobie. 4 homers, 17 driven in. Shows a lot of sock down there on the field. He's all black socks pulled up all the way to the bottoms of his knees. The 2-0. Caught a piece of the outside corner. Fastball connects. 2 balls and a strike. The count to KJ Scobie after Bach flied out to shallow left field. Craddock struck out. Tar Heels try to get off the field and get to the plate. The 2-1. Just missed outside. It's 2-2. Or make that 3-1, I beg your pardon. Shadows across the entire infield, save for a little sliver behind second base on the dirt. Flannery's got the sign. The pitch outside, and he lost him. Scobie takes a 5-pitch walk down to first. So Flannery just issued a strikeout. Walks a hitter for the 12th time this year. The Gamecocks have a base runner at the top of the first, and Talmadge LeCroy, cleanup hitter, next up to the dish. LeCroy bats .271, 5 homers, 17 RBIs. First pitch to the righty. That's in for a strike as the fastball registers 0-1. Eric Paulson at first base holds the runner. Gavin Gallagher at second. Schaffner the shortstop. Cooper Nicholson at the hot corner. Colin Heineck behind the dish. We'll give you the outfield after this 0-1 pitch. Taken at the knees for another strike, and it's 0-2. Carter French in left. Owen Hold the center fielder. Tyler Howe in right in front of the digital scoreboard. A lot to like about this ballpark as Flannery works the 0-2. Outside, a ball and 2 strikes. Good eye by LeCroy.
Tell you what, that sun and the shadows here could play a big effect in this game early on. We got some guys out there with sunglasses, some without sunglasses, and you can tell some of them got the gloves up in the air already before the pitch is even thrown, and it's really throwing them off.
1-2. Fastball missed away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Colby, so often we talk about sometimes the mound being in the sunlight or the shadows, but the plate being elsewhere. That's a tough adjustment for a hitter. But what you're saying right now is that for the guys up the middle, they've got the toughest job on the field.
They do. Especially, the ball's coming in 95, 96, sometimes being hit 100, 115. So, it's a lot going on, and it's especially even harder to field and catch when you got the shadows or the sun.
Foul ball keeps the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 down, a runner at first, no score in the first. Tar Heels and Gamecocks in Charlotte. The 2-2. Swing and a lazy pop to the right side. Paulson tracks back. Gallagher calls him off, and the second baseman can't find it. The ball falls fair in shallow right field, and everybody's safe. Scobie manages to go first to third. LeCroy lands at first, and as long as Gallagher didn't touch that, it should go down as a base hit. But that was a playable ball for Gallagher. You had to ask him after the game if you pulled up a little bit too early on that, but it is what it is. Gamecocks at the corners threatening in the first with Randolph next up to hit.
Kind of right on cue as we were talking about it. Got a weak fly ball in a tough little area right there behind first, and that's a tough play, and it's even tougher when you have all these shadows and the sun playing an effect.
Randolph, the DH, readies from the right side. Flannery deals wide, went off speed, and it's 1-0. So again, it does go down as a single for LeCroy. And South Carolina aims to get the early lead here. The 1-0. Flannery took a lot off of that pitch. Lands in the zone, evens the count to Randolph at 1-1. Jake's got the best average on this South Carolina team at .385. But this is just his 4th start of the season and his 7th appearance. Next pitch. There's a little blooper over shortstop, and it falls into left field. Scobie coasts in from third. Randolph's 2-out RBI single gives South Carolina a 1-0 lead. LeCroy goes first to second, and the Gamecocks have had the last 3 reach after Bach and Craddock are both retired.
Yeah, pretty good swing right there. It was in on his hands. Kind of got fisted a little bit, but he got enough of it to get it over the shortstop right there and get RBI.
First and second, 2 down for South Carolina. Gamecocks 1, Tar Heels nothing. In the top of the first, Patrick Evans, the left fielder, from the right side against Flannery. He's out of the stretch. First pitch, swing and a miss.
Well, we talked about it at the beginning. You know, Flannery had to limit his walks to have some success here. He's got some weak contact. The ball's just kind of falling. He's gotten a little unlucky, but he looks pretty good here today to start the game.
Here's the 0-1 and an all-righty affair. Downstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Evans. Junior brings a .292 average to the ballpark today. He's gone deep 3 times and driven in 7. Flannery's 1-1. Drifts low and outside. 2-1. How different is it for a guy like Boston pitching with runners on base as opposed to getting those first 2 with the bases clear?
Yeah, well, you know, you start feeling good right there when you have that success early, and then you walk a guy right, and it's probably not what you really want. You get a couple bloops, so it's a little frustrating. But you know, Flannery's been around the game. You know, he's an older player, so he should stay under control right here and attack and get out of the inning.
Just missed again. 3 balls and a strike to Evans. A walk would load the bases. Logan Sutter next up in the on-deck circle if Flannery can't get out of this jam. The 3-1, swing and a miss. Push the cutter by him. Full count to Evans with the Gamecocks up a run on the Tar Heels in the first, 2 down. Scobie came in to score on the Randolph RBI single. Randolph at first base, Lee Croy at second. Here's the payoff. Fly ball to left, French charges in hard. And he makes the catch with the sunglasses down, inning over. South Carolina didn't exactly barrel up any of those pitches from Boston Flannery, but they hit a couple where the Tar Heels weren't. 1 run comes in on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base for the Gamecocks, who lead 1-0 heading into the home half of the first. Tar Heel to the plate. When we come back, this is Carolina baseball. Tar Heel baseball in the midweek. South Carolina the opponent, and the Gamecocks out in front 1-0 as we head to the home half of the first. Tar Heels bring Jake Schaffner, Gavin Gallagher, and Eric Paulson to the plate. Then it's Macon Winslow, the DH batting cleanup, followed by the center fielder Owen Hall and the catcher Colin Heineck. Bottom third of the order, Tyler Howe, Cooper Nicholson, and Carter French. That's today's starting lineup, presented by Coors Light, Mountain Cold Refreshment, Choose Chill, and official beer of your North Carolina Tar Heels. Celebrate responsibly. They'll see Connor Shikoli, a 6'3", 185-pound sophomore righty out of Raleigh. The Gamecock starter has a record of 1-1 in ERA, exactly at 3 opponents, hitting .261 off of the sophomore righty. So Colby, a couple of bounces have gone the way of South Carolina to get this one underway. Obviously a lot of baseball left here. You played for Coach Forbes. What's the mentality like in the dugout heading into a game of this kind of magnitude?
Yeah, well, you know, that's the game sometimes. And, you know, this is a game that it's a big game and it's a fun game to be a part of, and you want to win just like all the other games. And like you said, there's a lot of ball left, and the Tar Heels are going to play to the last out, and that's for sure under Coach Forbes. So it's a lot of game left here today.
Here's Schaffner from the left side to lead things off for the Tar Heels. Chicoli kicks and fires. 90-mile-per-hour fastball inside. A ball and no strikes to the Heels. Starting shortstop, batting .322, 3 home runs, 17 RBIs for the North Dakota State transfer. Here's the second pitch. Strike call on the outer half. 1-1. Chicoli got his career started off at Georgia Tech a season ago. Didn't face the Tar Heels last year. As Schaffner puts a bunt down third base side. That's a good one. Craddock can't make the play. Ball comes to rest on the grass, and Schaffner down the line. Safe with no throw. It's an infield single. He's got the green light to do it, and when you can implement it like that, why not give it a shot?
Yeah, look, that was beautiful. You can't do it any more better than that. I mean, he didn't even have to run all the way down the line. He got halfway, and he kind of cruised. He showed bunt on the first pitch of the game and pulled back, almost hit him. So he was thinking that the whole time up there. I think he just wanted to see one for a strike, and then he was going to put it down.
So with Schaffner at first base, Gavin Gallagher at the plate. South Carolina has an early 1-0 lead. First pitch to Gavin. Inside as it's 1-0 to the righty. Hitting .273, 4 home runs, 19 RBIs. Gallagher has as much history against South Carolina as really anybody on the roster, having faced them in his first 2 seasons. Next offering. Checks in as a strike. Evens the count to the Tar Heel middle infielder, who has reached in his last 11 games. The law of averages beginning to come around for a guy that Carolina has counted on time and again through the years. Throw over to first base, and it's Schaffner diving back in head first under the tag of Bo Hollins, the first baseman who holds him. Logan Sutter, the second baseman. Shortstop KJ Scobie. We told you Will Craddock's at the hot corner. Lee Croy behind the plate. Patrick Evans in left. Bach in center. Uhas, the right fielder for the Gamecocks. 1-1. Gallagher whips it foul. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
We were talking about the sun and shade. Center field's got the toughest job of the day right now. Everywhere else has gotten pretty covered by the buildings, and it's not as much of a shadow or sun. The center fielder, though, I mean, he's having to hold his glove up the whole time right here to see anything.
The 1-2, Schaffner takes off. Gallagher rips a long fly ball. That is deep to left field, and that ball is gone. It disappears into the seats, and Gallagher has just given the Tar Heels a 2-1 lead on the Gamecocks.
Gavin absolutely smoked that ball. I think it was a changeup right there. I think he just left it up, and, man, he didn't miss it.
It was left up, and then it got out. Gallagher goes deep for the 5th time this year. RBIs 20 and 21. And when the Tar Heels hit a home run, it's presented by Lowe's Foods, because nobody cares about the Carolinas like Lowe's Foods.
Yeah, look, he knew it right away, too. I mean, that ball was smoked. It went up there 4 or 5 rows deep on the picnic area.
Second home run Chicoli's allowed this year for South Carolina. Gives the Tar Heels a 2-1 lead in the first, and it brings Eric Paulson to the plate. Big lefty. Whacks the fastball foul. Past the seats left side, and it's 0-1 to the Stony Brook transfer, who boasts a .329 average. Team leader in homers and RBIs. 6 long balls, 27 driven in. Second pitch. Down and in. Evens the count. Colby, you've seen a lot of baseball and a lot of different players through the years, but for Carolina to go into the transfer portal and find guys at almost every level of D1 baseball and have them perform at this level in the ACC, it's no mistake the coaching staff's got a great eye for talent.
Yeah, it's very important, especially in today's game, and just being up to date and where you're going to get players from and who can play, and they got to be able to perform right away.
2-1 popped up left side, and it's into foul territory, and a great play made in Carolina's bullpen by the left fielder Patrick Evans. Those bullpens are exposed. There are the giant mounds that Evans had to hurdle over to get to that baseball. And that's the first out recorded by South Carolina in the bottom half of the first. Tar Heels up 2-1. Winslow next up to the dish. And here's another transfer, played his ball last year at Duke. A different shade of blue this time around. Initial offering, fooled him with a changeup, swing and a miss. 0-1 to Winslow. Infield plays the Tar Heel right-handed bat straight up. Next pitch, bounced foul behind Coach Forbes in the third base coach's box. It's an 0-2 count to Winslow. Hits for an average of .329, 5 home runs, 21 RBIs. The balance of this lineup is tough to figure out if you're on the mound, is it not?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and the Tar Heels always do a good job of spreading the lineup out, righty, lefty. And sometimes it's really tough for the other team to face as pitchers and attacking the hitters and what counts and what you want to throw.
Well, Chicoli just went off speed to throw that third strike. Winslow takes a swing and a miss, and it's 2 down. Chicoli with his 18th strikeout on the season, up against just 5 walks. And it brings Owen Hull to the plate with Carolina leading South Carolina 2-1 in the bottom of the first. 2 down and nobody on base as that sunlight spot in center field begins to shrivel just a bit as a bouncing ball hit back to the mound. Chicoli gets to it, underhands to first base, and Hull out on the ground out. But Carolina strikes for 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors, nobody left on base. Gavin Gallagher's home run has given the Tar Heels a 2-1 advantage over the Gamecocks as we head into the top half of the second in Charlotte. This is Carolina baseball. Now's the time. They've been blending smoothie recipes for over 20 years with fresh bowls, wraps, and ginger shots made daily. Stop by Pulp on Franklin Street and say Carolina Baseball for 10% off your order. Carolina leads South Carolina by a score of 2-1 as we start the second from uptown Charlotte. Colby Wilkerson alongside me, Dave Nathan, and neither of us strangers to Franklin Street. Colby, have you been to Pulp yet and enjoyed any of their good stuff?
I have not, but now you say that I am, so I can go get 10% off. I'll tell you that.
We're moving product right now as we speak. That's the name of the game. Sutter leads things off for South Carolina in the second. Flannery gets a big swing and a miss with the fastball, and it's quickly 0-1 to the second baseman who grew up in Loomis, California. Next pitch connects in the zone at the knees to make it 0-2. Colby, you're a small town guy. Loomis populated by just about 6,800 near Sacramento. Here's the 0-2. Swung right past a fastball and down he goes. Strike 3. Flannery records his second strikeout on the evening. It's 1 down in the second. Luke Uhas next up for the Gamecocks, who trail 2-1.
We know it's 2-1, but if you're the Tar Heels, Boston looks good, and for them to be successful the rest of this year, he's going to have to come up big for the Tar Heels on the mound. And as soon as we say that, he hits someone.
First pitch inside to Uhas, and he plunked him. Colby, that's what we affectionately call here in the booth the broadcaster's jinx.
Yep. You know what? I dig it to him. But that's Boston. For him to be successful, he's got to cut down on the free passes. And when he can do that, he can be successful. Like, look back at the first thing, and you walk a guy, you get a couple bloop singles, and, you know, you give up a run, right? So for him to be able to be successful at the level, and he can be good here. So
next up is Hollins. Lefty takes a strike, and it's 0-1. That HBP, the first time that Juhas has been hit by a pitch this year, and the first time that Flannery has hit a batter. So, Colby, I think lightning just struck twice.
Oh, wow, I nailed it up here. I'll have to apologize for that one afterwards.
0-1.
I don't want to be a jinx to nobody, you know?
You better be careful who hears about this, Colby. 0-2 the count to Hollins. One down, a runner at first. We're in the top of the second. Gavin Gallagher's two-run homer in the first has given Carolina a 2-1 advantage over the Gamecocks. Flannery rears back and fires a fastball. Must have been high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Michael Snover calling the balls and strikes tonight. Brian Miller down the line at first with his hands on his knees. Same posture for Richard Riley, the second base umpire, and Joe Blumenauer, long time ump around these parts, left of the line at third. The 1-2. Fly ball hit the other way towards left. French giving chase. Finds his bearings, and that ball is about a half or so dozen rows up in the seats, and it careens back into the field of play. It remains a ball and 2 strikes. Hollins, an even 200 hitter. Hasn't homered, but has driven in 6. The 1-2. Flings that foul to stay alive. And another baseball given back to Flannery from his battery mate, Colin Hynek. Juhas leads off of first. It's Paulson holding the runner. Flannery's 1-2. Hit hard, and a hop gets by Gallagher at second. Rolls into right field. That may be the hardest hit ball of the evening for South Carolina. And a good piece of hitting for Hollins, winning that battle with 2 strikes in the count.
It was. That's exactly what you want to do with 2 strikes, right? You want to put the ball in play, hit it hard, and let it take care of the rest. And it was a good swing, and now I got runners at first and second here.
Lineup turns over to Bach, who flied out to French in left field when the game began, and already an early mound visit. Coach Gaines comes out of the third base dugout with a Carolina blue hoodie on to chat things over with Flannery and Hynek as some bodies head down to that exposed bullpen behind the left field line. Walker McDuffie looks like he's first up to get warm. So, Colby, you've been on the mound before for a lot of these meetings this early in the game. What's the discussion like between Carolina's longtime pitching coach and former pitcher Bryant Gaines and Boston Flannery in the spotlight for maybe the first time in his Carolina career?
Yeah, right. Well, you know, you just want to settle the guys down, right? You know, talk some confidence to them, what you want to do attacking, and give your guy a chance to get warm in the bullpen. Because, you know, a lot of times in these games, especially the Tuesday against a great team, and then you're going to go play the weekend in the conference, you're not going to throw a guy too much anyways, and it's going to be a pretty big bullpen day. So there's just some time to just trying to get him back under control.
Meeting concludes. We're back to work. First pitch inside to the lefty, Bach. 1-0. The sun is beginning to set in such a way that the reflection is ricocheting off one of the windows in uptown Charlotte. And the signal it's sending is right between my eyes right now, Colby.
They got these skyscrapers. It's hard to see sometimes here in this park, I'll tell you that.
The 1-0. Off speed and a ground ball to second. Gallagher hoovers it up, tosses to Schaffner, and that is a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play, just like Coach Gaines drew up. Tar Heels turn 2 for the 22nd time this year. That's the number 2 number in the ACC. And Carolina gets out of a 1-out, 2-on jam with Bach hitting into the twin killing. So South Carolina goes no runs, just the 1 hit. Tar Heels play it clean in the field, and we go to the bottom half of the second inning. It's a 2-1 Carolina lead. Hynek, Howe, and Nicholson, 6, 7, and 8, due up against Chicoli. When we come back after this, this is Carolina baseball. supporting home plate since 1954. Visit your local Lowe's Foods to find a different type of grocery store worthy of their Carolina roots. Tar Heels have already homered once this evening. It was Gavin Gallagher with Schaffner aboard to give the Tar Heels a 2-1 lead on South Carolina. That was in the first. We go to the bottom of the second. Colin Heineck leads things off. It's a righty-righty affair between he and Chicoli. As the first pitch gets by him, swing and a miss, 0-1. Heineck was at Georgia State last year. This year he bats .298, 3 homers, 26 RBIs. Next offering, contact and a pop up to the right side. Juhas in right field, where there's not a lot of foul territory, makes the catch a step in foul territory for the first out of the inning. You only get so many chances to play here, Colby, to learn the dimensions of this ballpark. You better go to work early.
Yeah, that's right. But I mean, both teams get here pretty early for BP, and that's exactly what the outfielder's doing early on, is reading the ball off the bat, getting the visual, and you know, finding out what room you got over there in your area. And he did a great job right there. He almost ran out of room, but good catch.
Howell next up from the left side, takes a strike down the middle. It's 0-1 to the freshman from out of Huntersville. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from where we are in uptown Charlotte on a Tuesday night for Carolina baseball. The 0-1. Good breaking ball, swing and a miss. Nothing into the count to Howell. Bats an even .250. 1 homer, 13 RBIs. Here's the 0-2 from the righty to the lefty. And it's downstairs. A ball and 2 strikes. What does it say about a guy like Howell? There's tons of competition in the outfield at both corner spots. He starts on opening day, and more times than not, he's in the starting lineup.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Howell's a good player, and, you know, I think he's going to have a bright future here for the Tar Heels. He's got a good swing. That's going to get better over time as he faces even better pitching and, you know, just is in the lineup. And then he's pretty good in the outfield. He's thrown some runners out this year for the Tar Heels, and he looks like a pretty good player.
The count 2-2 after Chicoli just missed. And he missed again to make it 3-2. That fastball was high.
He's had some big swings, too, for the team already in his short time as his career as a Tar Heel. So, I mean, there's a lot to like in Howell for the Tar Heels.
Payoff pitch. Outside, and a professional take by the freshman, who heads down to first base. Rare walk by Chicoli, just his 6th on the season through 19 1/3. Tar Heels have a base runner with 1 down in the second, leading 2-1 for Cooper Nicholson, batting out of the 8th spot. Another first-year Tar Heel, played his first couple of seasons at Iowa Central Community College. Nicholson's average has been on the uptick as of late at 197, 4 homers, 17 RBIs. The pitch, hot grounder behind Coach Forbes at third. Ball foul, and it's 0-1. Nicholson, pretty well put together specimen down there on the field. 5'11", 195. Another time, another place. Colby, this would be your blocking back in backyard football, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he looks good. He's a great third baseman, and we're looking for the bat to get going for Nicholson. So is he, and you know, he had a good career, and he's looking to do the same for the Tar Heels, and he's starting to pick it up a little bit. So it's good to see that for him and the Tar Heels.
Second pitch just missed to make it 1-1. And to your point, here's a guy that never hit worse than .324 in his first 2 seasons of college baseball. The 1-1. That's inside, and if there's one thing he's done really well this year, it's take abuse. Leads the ACC in being hit by a pitch, and he just got plunked again. Nicholson down to first base. He's already been hit 9 times this year. This is Carolina's 26th ball game. And so with Nicholson down to first, Howell gets pushed over to second. That's just the second batter that Chicoli has hit this year. And Carter French in the 9 spot to the plate for the Tar Heels, who lead the Gamecocks 2-1 in the home half of the second. And now, Colby, it appears as if we'll have a review. And the only thing I can imagine is South Carolina's arguing that Nicholson leaned into that.
Yeah, I mean, live I didn't see a lot right here. We got a pretty good view as well right here behind the home plate. And didn't look like a lot there to me.
So we'll wait on the review. While we do, this is the 10th time these two programs have gotten together in this series and in this ballpark. It goes all the way back to 2016 when the Tar Heels got a 15-0 win over, at the time, the number 2 team in the country, South Carolina. 10,205 fans showed up to watch that game. That was the biggest attendance number ever for a regular season college baseball game in the state of North Carolina. And while this game isn't the novelty now that it was then, it still brought out some big droves of fans, had some great moments, and for both of these programs, always good to get together, whether it's in late March or in early April.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, these two programs with great history, great baseball teams, great people, great individuals, and it's always a fun game to see and watch, and luckily I was able to play in 4 of them.
First team you were on back in 2021, Colby, got a 3-2 win in the 10th inning. Caleb Roberts single scored your old buddy Angel Zarate, and the Tar Heels got a 1-run win in extras. South Carolina wound up winning the next 3 in this series. The Tar Heels battled back to win last year 13-8. Got 5 runs in the 8th. Luke Stevenson did a 2-run homer. Tyson Bass, Sam Angelo had RBI singles. A lot lost off of last year's team, but the guys who have succeeded, some of those players have stepped up into leading roles. A little surprised by how long this review is taking?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a lot there, but, you know, speaking of what you were just talking about, if there were 3 games in my career that I would like to go back and let's get a redo, it was these 3 games that we lost them in 22, 23, and 24. I felt like we had a really good team in 22 and 24, and, you know, if there were some games I'd like to go back and play again, that'd be, and I don't say that a lot, but yeah, this review's taking long. I'm interested to see what they come out right here and say, because it didn't look like a lot live.
So we continue to wait with Carolina leading South Carolina 2-1 in the second. As the umpires come back out onto the field, we get a point down to first base, and it appears things were either confirmed or they'll stand. Either way, the Tar Heels have Tyler Howe at second base, Cooper Nicholson at first after he was hit by a pitch, and Carter French from the left side at the plate. 2-1 Diamond Heels with 1 away in the bottom of 2. Time called as Lee Croy and the rest of the infield, and Chicoli will have a mound meeting. Now, I will say this about that 2022 matchup. South Carolina got the win 15-2. It did give you guys a chance to see this ballpark before you came back in May to win an ACC championship. And in the small world that baseball is, you had to go through Monty Lee's Clemson Tigers at the time in that first game before you won 4 in a row and ultimately hoisted the crown, beating NC State on that Sunday.
Yeah, that was awesome. And awesome to be a part of. We had a lot of great players on that team and obviously a great coaching staff. And when you look back at a year like that, the entire year, every week we just got better and better and better, and the bats got a little hotter and the arms got a little crisper, and that was a good year, and we ended up falling short to Arkansas in a super. But that kind of built the Tar Heels back up, and eventually coming up in 24, some of those guys that were on that team that were really young, you know, were able to help the Tar Heels get to Omaha.
That 2022 season just seemed to be so important in the span of Coach Forbes' tenure. Coach Fox retires after the 2020 campaign. 2021 was just hold on for dear life. It was such a complicated year, not just for Carolina, but for anybody involved in the sport. To Carolina's credit, still getting to the postseason that year and winning a ball game was no small feat. But the 2022 season, an old coach around these parts, Colby, used to say, you make your momentum into the postseason. And I remember walking off the field after that ACC championship. Going into that game, it wasn't assured that the Tar Heels were going to host a regional. But coming out of that, the Tar Heels not only got a regional, but because of how Arkansas had to go on the road and win its regional, the Tar Heels got to host a super. and then it just felt like things fell into their natural place, and this Carolina program's been humming ever since.
Yeah, that's for sure. That was a great season for the Tar Heels, and we had a couple injuries right there late. It was a weird little couple days right there for the Super Regional, and looking back, like we had to play that series, the second game without Mac, and he had started playing really well right there towards the end of the year, and that was a big loss for us. So, but that set the stepping stones, and for the years to come, and like I said, eventually in 24 we made the Omaha. But Coach Forbes and the staff, I tell you what, they want to win for Chapel Hill. No doubt about it. Whether if it's with freshmen, transfers, in-state guys, local guys, far away from North Carolina guys, Coach Forbes and the staff wants to win, that's for sure.
Well, we're talking about the glory days. South Carolina's made a pitching change and has gone to Logan Prisco, a 6'4", 245-pound lefty from out of Selden, New York. Florence Darlington Tech was his last stop, and that's a place that the Tar Heels have been to time and again to get players. One of them on the roster this year, Rom Kellis, the fifth. Numbers on Prisco, makes his 8th appearance. All but one have been out of the pen, and ERA of 2.31. Hasn't factored into a decision. Opponents hitting 167 off of Logan Prisco. Home plate umpire dusts off the dish, and it feels like it's been a while since we had a pitch thrown in tonight's game. The last one hit Cooper Nicholson. He's at first. Howell, who took a walk earlier, is at second. One down in the bottom of two. Heels up 2-1. And it's a lefty-lefty showdown between Prisco and French, who swings and belts a line drive into left field. Or is it? Oh, it's foul by about a couple of feet. Off the bat, that looked like it had a chance, but it was just left of the chalk and foul. French back to the plate, down in the count, 0-1. So we're about 7:15, and all that sunlight has disappeared on the field, and it's a fair fight now for the guys at the plate and on the mound and in the field. This should be, at least defensively speaking, a much easier spot to navigate than it was about a half hour ago. Prisco, a long look to second base. The 0-1 to French, off speed, and a ground ball to second, scooped up by Sutter to Scobie for one. Can French leg it out? Yes, he can. 4-6 on the fielder's choice. That's the second out as Nicholson wiped off the base paths. Howe gets over to third. Tar Heels at the corners. Jake Schaffner next up at the plate. French has got some pretty good speed. Not everybody could have legged that out. It benefited Carolina to have somebody so fast get out of the box, especially from the left side.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, the middle infield did a good job for South Carolina right there. It was a pretty clean turn. But yeah, French is fast and was able to leg it out.
Schaffner takes a curveball for a strike.
If anything right there, that ball just wasn't hit hard enough to turn with a guy with a speed like French.
South Carolina 10th in the SEC in turning double plays with just 14 this year. Couldn't turn two there. The inning continues. The 0-1 to Schaffner. Another breaking ball, and it's 0-2. That breaking ball reminiscent of one of your old buddies, Gage Jillian, with the old 12-6 break on it, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Gage had a good one. Gage's delivery was so quick and fast and just different. That also played a big effect on hitters, right? We just call him shotgun. He was so quick and fast. It was, oof.
0-2. Speaking of fast, there's a fast ball. Schaffner got a piece of it, drove it foul. It remains 0-2 to the Tar Heel shortstop, who singled and was aboard for Gallagher's two-run homer in the first. We reside in the bottom of the second. Carolina leads South Carolina 2-1. There's two down in the inning. Tyler Howe, the lead runner at third base. French behind him at first. The 0-2. Breaking ball bounced back past the mound. Prisco tried to get it with his bare hand. It went over his finger. It's the shortstop, Scobie, who collects and throws to first. Inning over. Always dangerous when you try to make a play with your bare hand, is it not?
Yeah, well, sometimes you're just reacting, right? I think that's really what he did right there. And he's kind of looking at his hand. I think it might have clipped him right there, but did deflect it enough to ruin the play, and they get out of the inning right there.
No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 left on base. We've played 2 innings from uptown Charlotte. Tar Heels have a 2-1 lead on the Gamecocks, who bring Craddock, Scobie, and LeCroy to the plate upon our return. This is Tar Heel baseball.
You sit in traffic now, but later, there's an ice cold reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. You've earned this rich golden lager with a crisp, refreshing.
Carolina, the state's most preferred health insurer. So put Blue Cross North Carolina on your team. Official health insurance partner of Carolina Athletics. I'm Dave Nathan, my broadcast partner tonight, Colby Wilkerson, getting some much-needed airtime here today on the ACC Network and the Varsity Network app and GoHeels.com. Colby, you're all over the place as the Tar Heels have a 2-1 lead on South Carolina as we start the third. Craddock takes a swing and a miss, and he's quickly behind Flannery. 0-1. Next pitch. That's chopped past third base. Barely foul. Close call for Joe Blumenauer to make. 0-2 to the third baseman, who was a strikeout victim back in the first. Temperatures beginning to cool off. They were sitting at 57 degrees when we got started just after 6:30. The 0-2, and Flannery rings him up. Off-speed pitch down the middle. Not what Craddock was expecting. That's what he got, and he got punched out. Third strikeout of the ball game for Boston Flannery. That's what we're talking about with the evolution of Flannery. Came to Carolina as a hard thrower. He has become a much more complete pitcher.
Yeah, he's got some really good stuff, and like I said, he's just got to get to attacking batters early and just not falling behind. And, you know, he can have a lot of success because he's got very good stuff, right? He's, you know, his fastball's good. He's got a little sinker and a little cut on and a little rung on it, and then he can come back with a slider and a changeup and really get you.
Scobie quickly ahead in the count, 1-0. Second pitch fooled him into a swing and a miss. 1-1. And we talked about the spotlight being on Flannery. I mean, this is a guy that only appeared in 1 game last year for 1 inning against Stony Brook. Makes just his 7th career appearance. But this is the big stage. Foul ball makes it 1-2 as it's blooped off to the right side. Scobie falls behind after taking a walk and scoring the Gamecocks' only run on Randolph's RBI single. Gallagher answered with a 2-run homer in the first, and it's a 2-1 Heels lead in the third. The 1-2. Solid contact and a line drive to center. Owen Hull has it measured up, and the first-year Tar Heel makes the play for the second out of the inning. Hull follows in that lineage of Justice Thompson and Vance Honeycutt and Kane Kepley, guys just so gifted with elite speed. Didn't need to show it off. All he needed to do was get the glove up to make the catch.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, if history repeats itself, that's a good position to be in when it comes up for the draft, for sure. And, you know, he can play. He's got a lot of speed, and he's a big promise for the Tar Heels, and he's got to play well for the team to do good.
Talmadge LeCroy next up at the dish from the right side, takes the ball away. 1-0 to the catcher, who's 1 for 1 with a single. Flannery deals a fastball high and away. 2-0. LeCroy's faced off against the Tar Heels in 2022, 2023, 2024, and again last year. Cutter finds the inside corner, and it's 2-1. game last year was the last game he played in before an injury set him back, as he takes a swing and launches a line drive into the Tar Heels bullpen. One of Carolina's bullpen catchers made a heck of a play. That's a foul ball, and it's 2-2 to LeCroy. Had a big Sunday against Arkansas with a home run. Gamecocks finally got an SEC win over the Hogs as he chops the 2-2 pitch foul past third base. 9-4 was the final on Sunday, with South Carolina getting to 1-5 in the SEC, snapping a 7-game losing streak. The 2-2. Dumped foul behind the dish. It's still 2 balls and 2 strikes to LeCroy after Craddock struck out looking to begin the inning. Scobie flied out to hole in center. Carolina has a 2-1 lead over the Gamecocks in the top of 3. It's got the feel of what's going to be a brisk night in Uptown Charlotte as LeCroy tags a foul ball left side out of play. Fresh baseballs brought out to our home plate umpire, Michael Snover. 2-pocket guy, Colby. Balls disappeared to either side of his hip.
So I see that.
LeCroy back in the box from the right side. Flannery's 2-2. He elevated that fastball, and LeCroy couldn't touch it. Swing and a miss, strike 3, inning over. Flannery's got his 4th strikeout of the ball game. There's just something so appetizing about those pitches to power hitters. Flannery challenged LeCroy, and it was Boston who won the moment.
Yeah, he's looked very good for the Tar Heels tonight. He had a little energy right there coming off, a little confidence you can see in him, and that's very good to see coming from Boston Flannery and what the Tar Heels want.
Clean inning for Carolina in the field. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left. It's the 2, 3, and 4 spots for the Tar Heels. And the bottom of 3, Gallagher, Paulson, and Winslow. Briscoe looks like he's back to work for the Gamecocks, who trail the Heels 2-1. This is Tar Heel baseball.
Need to gear up for game day? The Tar Heel team store.
Modelo, and official beer of your North Carolina Tar Heels. In Charlotte tonight, the home team taking on South Carolina, visitors from Columbia. Always envy the Gamecocks ride home. It's only about an hour back to Columbia, Colby, from the Queen City. We've got about a 2-hour drive to get back to Chapel Hill. As we start the bottom of 3, Heels up 2-1. Gallagher takes a strike, and it's 0-1. But you know those rides back home, they go a lot quicker if you come out on top.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's a lot more enjoyable ride when you come out on top. But, you know, I was a big sleeper on the way back, so I got 2 hours of sleep right there instead of 1. That's the way I look at it.
Well, nobody's sleeping on you. 0-2 the count to Gallagher, who rocked a 2-run homer over the left field fence to give Carolina this 1-run advantage. The dinger for Gallagher, his 5th on the season. The pitch outside to the righty. A ball and 2 strikes. That's now 30 career home runs for Gavin. And boy, he's hit some big ones.
He has indeed. I mean, he's a big-time player, and he loves the moment. And it's a moment for him tonight, and he's already got a homer.
The 1-2 is inside. Almost got a piece of him.
I don't know how it didn't hit him.
You're right. That felt like it was destined to get him somewhere on the leg. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Tar Heels second baseman Gallagher a season ago had 17 homers. Twice a Chapel Hill Regional Most Outstanding Player. Prisco's 2-2. Tried to go back to the breaker, but it stayed high, and after Gavin fell behind 0-2, he's worked it full. This is a Tar Heel team that takes a ton of walks, 17th in the country entering play today. Chicola, who started the game, issued 1 free pass over the course of an inning and a third. The 3-2 took a swing and a miss at Gallagher, and he came up empty. Strike 3. Prisco gets his first strikeout, and there's 1 down to begin the bottom of the 3rd inning. Paulson next up to the plate for the Tar Heels, who lead 2-1. Paulson pop foul to Evans, the left fielder, when he was at the plate back in the 1st. We're in the bottom of the 3rd. Heels nursing a 1-run advantage. Prisco starts him off backwards. Changeup misses 1-0. Not an extreme shift for Paulson, but the second baseman Sutter's back on the right field turf. First baseman Hollins playing deep on the dirt. Curveball connects for a strike at the knees. 1-1. Third baseman Craddock at his normal spot, while the shortstop Scobie just right of the, left of the bag at second on the outfield cut. It's an all-lefty affair between Prisco and Paulson. The pitch, low 2-1. And Colby, these are 2 Empire State guys, both from New York, 60 feet 6 inches away from one another. Paulson grew up in Massapequa. Here's the 2-1 offering. Paulson sat on the curveball and grounded it foul behind first. 2 balls and 2 strikes to last year's CAA Defensive Player of the Year and a first-team All-Conference member. That's what happens when you hit almost 360 with 9 homers and 44 driven in.
He's got a great swing, a lot of power in that swing, and it's quick. I mean, man, he can get to about anything.
Prisco set to fire the 2-2. And he struck out Paulson swinging. Back to the off-speed stuff. And that'll play. Consecutive Ks for South Carolina's first arm out of the pen. Prisco's induced a couple of ground balls, 2 strikeouts. And now it's up to Macon Winslow to keep the bottom of the 3rd alive for Carolina, who leads South Carolina 2-1 under the lights in Truist Field. Winslow a righty at the plate. Prisco a southpaw. Deals a heater inside, 1-0. Macon struck out in the 1st inning when Chicola was on the mound. That was his only K. The 1-0. Winslow. Swing and a miss. Couldn't touch the changeup, and it's 1-1. It's good pitch mix from Prisco. How complicated is it when a guy can ramp things up around 91, 92 and then scale it back with those 70 miles?
Well, yeah, when you get to that 10, 12 mile per hour drop, right, like that, it's just a lot of different timing for a hitter, and it's very tough. And, you know, sometimes you have to start sitting one or the other, and you have no shot.
Another strike call makes it 1-2. Plus, there's the curveball element to what Prisco brings to the game. I mean, he can keep you on your heels. And the Tar Heels have yet to figure him out.
Yeah, he's looked sharp tonight for the Gamecocks. That's exactly what you want with someone out of the pen. You know, you're down 1 run. You just want to keep them in the game, keep them there, so your offense can come in and do some work.
Well, that's the fastball. That's knee high, and that's strike 3. Prisco strikes out the side, and those are not easy outs. Gallagher, Paulson, and Winslow in succession. 3 up and 3 down for the Heels in the bottom of the 3rd, an inning that goes quickly for both sides as we are on our way to the 4th. Gallagher's 2-run homer in the 1st, still the difference in a 2-1 game led by the Tar Heels. This is Carolina baseball.
Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered,
Brothers Plumbing and Heating, serving the community since 1933. Our family is here to keep your family comfortable. Count on the team that the Tar Heels trust with Brown Brothers Plumbing and Heating. You can trust us, Dave Nathan, Colby Wilkerson in Charlotte for Carolina baseball in the midweek. Tar Heels have a 2-1 lead on South Carolina. As we go to the top half of the fourth, it's Randolph, Evans, and Sutter, 5, 6, and 7 for interim head coach Monty Lee's Gamecocks. While we're talking about the grounds crew, Colby, you got some old buddies that you played with, helping the Tar Heels out in that respect this year.
You know, Will Sandy, big old lefty from Reedsville Road High School, Raleigh.
Randolph bounces the first pitch foul into the Tar Heels dugout, 0-1. Sandy was holding court the other day in the home dugout, man. Never shies away from a conversation as a swing and a miss to Randolph makes it 0-2. Some things never change.
You know, right? Yeah, I love being up in the booth and seeing him. Yeah, we lived together 2 years. Probably one of my best friends, and yeah, I love Sandy. Love seeing him. Great player, great guy.
Flannery's 0-2, half swing and a miss. And that's another strikeout for Boston Flannery, who has K'd 5. That ties his season and career high. He had 5 Ks against the Longwood Lancers a few appearances ago. And for a guy 57 pitches into his 3rd start of the season, Flannery looks like this is old hat. Next pitch to Evans, down and away from the righty, and it's 1-0. There is McDuffie in the pen again, warming up, but given this game and given the fact that it's a midweek, you get into the 4th, I think you've done your job as a Tar Heel pitcher tonight, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. No doubt about it, and it's exactly what you want to see right here on a Tuesday game from Boston Flannery. And maybe it can keep you from using an arm or two and keep someone really fresh for the weekend.
It's a weekend that's going to be cold in South Bend as Flannery's 2-0 pitch runs inside to Evans to make it 3-0. Notre Dame all of a sudden has jumped into the top 25, 6-3, just like the Tar Heels in the ACC. That will be more than a fair fight.
Yep, they got a good team this year, but I tell you what, that's a place that's always cold and windy when you go up there.
Ball outside sends Evans down to first base. Walk of the ball game for Flannery. Sutter, who struck out to begin the 2nd at the plate with 1 out and 1 on the 4th. Carolina 2, South Carolina 1. This league will take you to some places now. Notre Dame, Boston College, Pittsburgh can be as cold as any of them.
You're not lying. We were talking about it earlier. In 23, it was snowing sideways when we were playing Pitt.
Pitch misses low to Sutter. 1-0. I was there. Don't have to remind me.
It was cold. 2 days to finish one game. That's all we got in.
One game the entire weekend. Inside of the righty makes it 2-0. The good news is Carolina won the series with that one win. And I think the major storyline coming out of that series was that Colby Wilkerson went deep.
Yeah, I ended up, you know, I don't like to brag too much, but I played pretty good up there even though it was cold.
20 years from now, people will say the wind was blowing in and Colby muscled one over the right field
Hey, look,
fence.
I could be wrong, but I think I was a double away from the cycle. How crazy is that in 2 days in one game?
That may be an ACC first. 20 years from now, Colby, we'll give you the cycle.
Yeah, I was about to say, I get older, I'm going to start telling people I hit for the cycle.
Here's the 2-0 to Sutter instead of throw over to first. McDuffie continues to get warm as we're in the 4th. 2-1. Diamond Heels over the Gamecocks. Flannery works from out of the stretch. First base side of the rubber. A second throw over, a little closer this time. Evans gets back in safely. South Carolina is not a team that likes to run a bunch, but Evans has as many steals as anybody with 4. Gamecocks 293rd in college baseball with just 10 steals in 2026. A third throw over. I'm beginning to think this is a stall tactic to get Mr. McDuffie ready to go here tonight.
Well, the Tar Heels are playing. They're pinching up the middle with Gavin. And yeah, you're exactly right. Scott Ford's going to come out and make a change right here and go to McDuffie.
Coach Gaines made an earlier mound visit. Typically when Coach Forbes comes out, it's to make a change. Although that didn't happen over the weekend against Louisville. Coach Forbes went out to make a mound visit, stuck with his guy. And just about everything Carolina did late on Sunday turned out to work. Heels were down 4-2 entering the bottom half of the 8th, and with 2 down, Carolina managed to get 5 runs to go ahead 7-4. A 2-run homer by Tate Davis in the 9th drew the Cards to within 7-6, and then Matthew Mateus, who is hit by a ball on his right forearm somewhere around 104, 106 miles per hour, entered that day to day. I mean, we had no idea if Mateus would pitch Sunday, let alone pitch again this season. He gets the ball and gets the final 2 outs to claim his 2nd save and help the Tar Heels to what I thought was a massive home series win over a Louisville team that was just in the College World Series a year ago.
Yeah, I would say Louisville's better than what people might think, and better with what their record shows for this season. I mean, they got a lot of talent on that roster, so for the Tar Heels to be able to win that series and have a guy come back like that who took a ball off the arm, and yeah, that was pretty scary. I was there, and live, it did not look good.
No.
So for him to come back and close that game out was big for the Tar Heels, and McDuffie's going to come in right here and look to hold this lead for the Tar Heels 2-1.
McDuffie, freshman phenom a season ago, looked like his old self over the weekend when he made his 12th appearance on the season. In that second game, went 3 innings, struck out 5 on the year. McDuffie with a record of 4-1 and ERA of 2.66. Opponents hitting .203 off the kid from Broadway, North Carolina. He wears those glasses. Looks kid-friendly out there on the mound. The slider, anything but friendly that he can throw.
You ain't lying about that. He's got a really good one, and he loves to throw it any count, any time of the game. You know, in the sophomore year, especially when he had so much success. You have so much success as a freshman. That sophomore year's always tough, right? Because you want to improve, you want to get better, you want to help the team win, and sometimes you might put a little bit too much pressure on yourself to do that. And he looked pretty good this past weekend against Louisville, so he's looking to continue that the rest of the year for the Tar Heels.
You could probably speak to this. As a freshman, you don't know what you don't know. And if you're out there on the mound, having never been in these sorts of situations before, maybe you don't feel the pressure that an older, more experienced player feels when you fully understand the total stakes of what you're doing. And maybe last year that benefited Walker possibly the same way that it's benefiting Caden Glauber this year.
That's right. I mean, when you're young, you're competing so hard, and you just want to help the team and prove yourself, right? And then you come back in the following years, and everyone knows you a little bit more, and sometimes you might just be trying and pressing, and sometimes you're thinking about things that you didn't really think about when you were young. So there's a lot that goes into it, but McDuffie looked good, you know, this past weekend, as we said, and he's looking to continue that success.
McDuffie comes in after Flannery exits. Boston went 3 1/3. That's a career high. Carolina leads 2-1 in the 4th. Gamecocks at the plate with 1 out, 1 on. Sutter at the dish from the right side. McDuffie's first pitch registers low, ball 1 to Sutter, getting the start at second base today. 5th-year player, and he has played at some spots. A couple years at Purdue, a couple years at Folsom Lake College, as the pitch comes inside and hits Sutter. An inauspicious beginning for McDuffie out of the pen. So with 2 on, Juhas next up at the dish. Juhas, a righty. He was hit by a pitch back in the 2nd. Inside, 1-0.
I think the one in the 2nd was on me. That one right there was not on me.
So a couple of walks here. as a pitch runs over the inside corner to make it a 1-1 count to Juhas. 2-1 heels in the fourth. Sun beginning to set just in front of 8 o'clock. McDuffie checks to second, deals to the plate, down and away. 2-1. Evans, the lead runner at second base. Sutter behind him at first. McDuffie put that in the zone. All Juhas could do is tap it foul behind the right-handed batter's box. Two and two to the 6'4", 230-pound senior. How to get this place, Colby? Moss Bluff, Louisiana. Great name. The 2-2 from the righty to the righty. Jolted into the gap in left center field. French racing over, makes the catch in front of the warning track. Steals what would have been a double and keeps both base runners from advancing. Juhas flies out. And that's a big second out. This isn't the biggest ballpark, despite the fact it's a AAA field. It's just 330 down the line to left, only 315 to right, 400 to straightaway center field. French had to get on his horse. He's an old football player that looked like he was running a route.
Yeah, he had to get on his horse to get that one. And like you said, not a huge ballpark, but it plays big in the gaps against center, and he had to go catch that one.
Strike call to Hollins puts the Gamecock left-handed bat down in the count, 0-1. There's 2 out, 2 on. Tar Heels 2, Gamecocks 1 in the top of the fourth. McDuffie just out of the pen for Boston Flannery. The 0-1 sits on the outside corner at the knees. It's a called strike 2. Hollins, who singled back in the second. And a hole here, 0-2. Flannery checks to second. The pitch, swing, and a foul tip into the glove of Heineck, and that is inning over. McDuffie issued a walk to Sutter. Juhas rocked a fly ball to deep left center that was caught by French. Hollins strikes out, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 left on base. Been a competitive ball game so far between Carolina and South Carolina. Tar Heels have a 2-1 lead heading into the bottom half of the fourth. Hull, Heineck, and Howe due up upon our return. That was absolutely Carolina baseball.
Like a
Go Tar Heels. Alongside Colby Wilkerson, I'm Dave Nathan. We are in Charlotte for Carolina baseball tonight under the lights. South Carolina, the opponent. Gamecocks got on the board first, led 1-0 into the bottom of the first. Gavin Gallagher's 2-run homer has made it a 2-1 game, and that is still the margin in the bottom of 4 with Owen Hull leading things off for Coach Forbes' bunch. Prisco still on the mound. His first offering, a strike on the outside corner. Goes back to that high 80s fastball. And it's 0-1 to Hull, who hit back to the mound to end the first inning. Frisco sets to fire. Off speed and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hull got off to a slow start offensively, was just 2 for 22 in his first 8 games, was batting .091, and that's just not Owen Hull. Then goes on a 6-game hitting streak in the middle of March. Average jumps from 256 to 354 as he swings and pelts a fly ball to left field. It's caught near the track by Evans for the first out of the inning. Average actually got up to 370 after he doubled in the second inning on Sunday against Louisville. Average will tick down a couple of points, but he has become a much more consistent hitter as we've hit almost the midway point of the season, and that's what you expect for a guy that batted .367 last year at George Mason.
Yeah, look, he's gotten going here a little bit, and the Tar Heels just need him to get on base at the end of the day because he can really run. So it just puts a lot of pressure on the other team, and it sets up the Tar Heels for more success, throughout the game.
Colin Heineck, no stranger to success, has a 5-game hitting streak. Takes a strike, is behind in the count, 0-1. Frisco deals off the plate, levels things at 1-1. Outside of Gavin Gallagher, Heineck's got the most amount of experience against South Carolina of any position player. Ran up against the Gamecocks a couple of times when he was at Georgia State. The 1-1. Swung past that, and it's 1-2. He hit a home run a year ago against the Gamecocks, and then in 2024 went 0 for 1. So in his career, including this game, Heineck 1 for 4 against South Carolina. The 1-2. Big swing and a line drive past third base. He's got another base hit against the Gamecocks. It rolls into left field, and that hitting streak is up to 6 in a row. Heineck with a rocket shot off of Prisco. Heels have a runner aboard with 1 down in the 4th, trying to add to a 2-1 advantage. Now, we were having this discussion last week and maybe even beyond that, Colby. We talk about Owen Hull batting in the mid-360s last year at George Mason. Heineck's a guy that only batted .230 last year at Georgia State. And there was just something about this kid that Carolina liked. And he is having a career year now at the highest level as Howe takes a strike to fall behind 0-1. What is it that catches your eye about Heineck that might not have shown at Georgia State that is showing up here as a Tar Heel?
Yeah, well, he can really catch, first off. And he's in the lineup sometimes as a catcher and not a DH, and sometimes switching back and forth. But he can really catch, so that's what catches your eye at first. And then, sometimes all you need is just another year in the box, right? And once you get older and you're seeing the same pitches and the same sequences and you start learning from your mistakes, you can just improve like that, and I think that's exactly what you're seeing with him.
Here's the 0-1 to the lefty, Howe. Swung past that off-speed delivery, and it's 0-2. To be fair to Colin, he did homer 18 times last year. He threw out 12 runners trying to steal, and he got off to about as good a start as one could hope last year for Georgia State. Homered in his first 3 games in an opening series against Belmont. Throw over. Now, he'd tell you the most impressive part about his season this year is he's got 2 triples. He couldn't find third base out of the batter's box.
I'm sure
in his
he
career.
will. And it's just it's a different level of ball because you're seeing such good pitching every single game, right? And so sometimes that can make you comfortable because they're throwing a lot of strikes and you can see the ball well and you get a little rhythm and you can get your average up.
Speaking of rhythm, Prisco's in one right now. He just struck out Howe on another breaking ball. That's 4 strikeouts over the last inning and change for South Carolina's first arm out of the pen. There's 2 down in the 4th. Heels still up 2-1 on the Gamecocks in the bottom of 4. It's Cooper Nicholson to the plate with a runner at first. Coop was hit by a pitch back in the 2nd. There was a long review of it, but the call stood. 0-1. Nicholson hitting out of the 8th spot today in Coach Forbes' lineup. French behind him in the on-deck circle. The 0-1. Measures low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
The Tar Heels need Nicholson and French, to have really good competitive at-bats, put pressure on the defense, because the top of the lineup is very good for the Tar Heels and doing some damage, and you just need those guys to be on base.
The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Push the fastball by him. And it's 1-2. First baseman Hollins holds the runner Heineck, who reached on a single. 2 down in the 4th. Heels up 2-1 on South Carolina. The pitch. Knocked foul the other way. Nicholson hangs in there. Your brother Daniel will have his hands full getting all that dirt out of Cooper's uniform after this one's over and done with, man. He is coated from head to toe, and we're just about midway through this game.
Hey, well, look, if you're playing, that's what you want to be. You want to be dirty. You're playing hard. You're in the action. That's what baseball's about.
Throw over to first base. Of course, Daniel Wilkerson does a great job in the equipment room. A very necessary part of Carolina baseball.
That was pretty cool. He was here while I was here my last 2 years, and we got to have some fun and see each other during the games and after the games and at practice, and we got to go to Omaha together, so that's pretty cool.
1-2 pitch misses to make it 2-2. Your parents have to be thrilled to see both you while making just one stop.
That's right. Makes it a lot easier.
Prisco tries to get out of the 4th and send us to the 5th when the Gamecocks have the top of the order due up. The 2-2 to Nicholson. There's a well-struck ball into the gap in left center field. That will fall between Bach and Evans. It's got Heineck running from first to third. Nicholson a wide turnaround first. And with a single, and the Tar Heels may have a little something brewing with 2 down. And Carter French next up to the plate.
It's a good job by Cooper right there. That pitch was in on the hands. He's a strong guy. Like you said, he had a lot of success at his former school, and hit a lot of homers, and he was able to get enough of that ball to get the fall out there in the left center gap. And just like we talked about, that's exactly what they need to do. Luckily, Vance was behind me, so I always tell people, sometimes I want him to be a legend. So, sometimes I just get out, Vance, you go hit a homer.
Let me make sure I heard that right. Colby Wilkerson said that Vance Honeycutt was protecting him in the lineup.
Oh, I'll have to talk to him later about that. Maybe I was protecting him.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. There's a mound meeting for South Carolina. We know that. Vance's spring training got off to a heck of a start in the Orioles organization. Colby, if a ball was coming his way at the plate, it was leaving over the fence shortly after.
Tell you what, he can do some things that just you don't see every day. He can really play center field. He's super fast. And, man, sometimes he just hits that ball. Looks like a golf ball coming off that bat.
Vance grew up not too far from here, and for the Charlotte kids and the folks in the surrounding areas, Rowan County, Salisbury, those sorts of places, got to mean a lot to be here in this kind of a game as Prisco stays on the mound after the meeting, throws a dart for a strike to the lefty French, who falls behind 0-1. This is Carter's 4th year in the program. First time, though, he's played against South Carolina. Hit into a fielder's choice, was the first to face Prisco out of the pen back in the 2nd. 2-1 Heels in the 4th. The 0-1. Breaking ball missed high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hull flied out to left field to begin the inning. Then Heineck ripped a single over the third baseman Craddock. Howe struck out looking, and Nicholson singled into the gap in left center. Heels at the corners, trying to manufacture another run. The 1-1. Upstairs. 2-1 to French. Just in front of 8 o'clock. Lights are on. The sun has disappeared. Darkness surrounds us in uptown Charlotte for what is the 108th all-time meeting between these two programs. The 2-1. Inside. 3-1. There's a low roar of South Carolina fans to our right. None too pleased with the call of a ball there. Tar Heel fans sitting quietly on the left-hand side behind the home dugout. 2-1 Carolina. 2 on, 2 down in the fourth. 3-1 pitch to French. Pelts it foul. It's a big fastball. Had a pitch to hit, couldn't straighten it out, and the count full. Pretty significant pitch on the way here, huh?
Yep, for sure. It's a big-time pitch, and French looking to see what he can do right here, and the Gamecocks want to strike out.
Heineck at third, Nicholson at first. The payoff pitch to French is inside, and he lost him. That's Prisco's first walk of the evening, and it loads the bases for Jake Schaffner, who's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Schaffner was aboard back in the first when Gallagher went deep. It's been 2-1 ever since the bottom of the first. A base hit here, though, would change that. Tar Heels have out-hit the Gamecocks 4-3. Neither team has committed an error. This, though, could be the moment where the Tar Heels break this one open. The pitch. Schaffner swings and grounds to second base. That's Sutter who makes the play and throws him out. After Carolina loaded him up just 1 pitch later, Schaffner grounds out, and the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 3 left on base. Big opportunity goes by the wayside for the Tar Heels. As we go to the 5th, it's Bach, Craddock, and Scobie. Top third of the order due up for South Carolina. McDuffie still on the mound for the Tar Heels, who lead 2-1. This is Carolina baseball.
Like a walk-off home run to beat your rival.
During the 2026-2027 school year can apply for a scholarship to their local electric cooperative to attend the UNC basketball school this June. You can apply online at ncelectriccooperatives.com/community/sportscamps. North Carolina's electric cooperatives, building a brighter future for people and communities across the Tar Heel State. We are in the Tar Heel State, uptown Charlotte. Tar Heels and Gamecocks. Heels up 2-1 as we start the 5th. McDuffie locates a strike to Bach, and it's 0-1 to the lefty, who's 0 for 2. Bach flied out to French in left field to begin the game. Then a 4-6-3 double play into the second. The 0-1 just missed inside. 1-1. And Kobe, while we're talking about basketball camps, we had a little word about basketball before the game got started. You played against some great players in high school, and I'm guessing some great players said they played against you.
Yeah, that is for sure. And you know, like I said, I don't like to brag a lot, but I could shoot a little bit back in the day.
I don't doubt it. 2 balls and a strike to count to Bach. Next pitch from McDuffie. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string. Good changeup there by Walker.
I had to tell, Coach Williams, I was like, look, I think baseball's going to be the route for me. I'm going to go over and play for Coach Forbes, right?
I'm sure he fought you hard on that too, right?
He did.
Another swing and a miss, and down goes Bach. McDuffie records his second strikeout of the game. It's the first out of the 5th. It's the 3rd time Bach has been retired tonight, and it brings Craddock to the plate in a 2-1 game led by the Diamond Heels in the top half of the 5th. Well, it wasn't so long ago Coach Williams was throwing out the first pitch before one of these games between the Heels and Gamecocks. As Craddock looks at a strike down the middle to make it 0-1.
I actually got to talk to him the other week before one of the games. He was at a baseball game recently, and I said, look, man, I would have loved to get tall enough to dunk because you would have loved me. And he laughed, and he said, we still dream about dunking, don't we? I said, yes, sir, you're right about that.
0-2 on the swinging strike to Craddock. McDuffie back to work already, and how about another one? Swing and a miss, strike 3. McDuffie is in some sort of a groove. 3 consecutive strikeouts for Walker McDuffie, and there are 2 quick outs in the 5th for KJ Scobie.
Well, the thing about McDuffie is, he's got that wipeout slider, and it's so good, and sometimes guys just start sitting on it, and his heater that people don't talk about a lot has a lot of life. It's very hard, and when you throw a slider so much, it makes it look even harder.
Well, there's the slider, and a swing and a miss by Scobie makes it 0-1. Yeah, don't be fooled by McDuffie. The fastball at times can sit around 93, 94. This an 0-1 pitch to the righty Scobie at the plate. 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Low 1-1. Our score 2-1 in favor of Carolina. Gavin Gallagher with a 2-run homer in the first. The big offense of the night. McDuffie's 1-1. A little low. 2-1. Scobie coming off an 0 for 3 Sunday against Arkansas. The 2-1. Slow tapper up the third base line, but it rolls foul about 50 feet towards the bag, and it's a 2-2 count to Scobie. Hey, while we're talking about guys that can play multiple sports pretty well, Scobie was a heck of a golfer back in high school. He averaged a score of 36 on 9 holes and about 74.5 on 18 during his junior year in high school.
You think he'll give me his number for lessons?
I'll tell you what. I know you give some lessons for baseball. I don't know if he needs those, but yeah, he could probably give you a couple of golf tips.
Yeah, he looks like he's doing all right, in the baseball category. Maybe I'll just work out a deal for the golf.
2-2 lands low. 3-2 as McDuffie backpedals towards the top of the bump. Bach and Craddock both struck out to begin the inning. It's a good AB though from Scobie. Base is clear. Top 5. Heels 2, Gamecocks 1. McDuffie's payoff pitch lands it right in the zone, and Scobie goes down looking at strike 3. That was a thing of beauty. You know, when you take people's sliders in the offseason, you force them to throw other pitches, it can make you a better player. And Walker McDuffie has refined himself nicely in the offseason, and that stuff plays in the regular season. 4 consecutive Ks for McDuffie. He strikes out the side in the 5th. We go to the bottom half of the inning with our score still reading Carolina 2 and South Carolina 1. That was undoubtedly Tar Heel baseball. Diamond Heels, our score, Gallagher, Paulson, and Winslow, 2, 3, and 4, due up against Logan Prisco, who settled things down out of the pen, got out of a bases-loaded jam last inning. Struck out 4 so far, and what has been a solid 2 2/3. Initial offering to Gallagher. Slow roller back through the mound, right as second base, and Gallagher legs out an infield single. Sutter couldn't get there in time, and Gavin's got his second hit of the game. It's his 9th multi-hit game of the season, and the Tar Heels have a leadoff man aboard for the first time since the first inning.
And that was a really tough play right there. Ball not hit so good off the end. Had some weird spin on it. Tough play. Gavin was able to leg it out.
You play both those middle infield spots. What's the worst thing that can happen when a ball comes your way?
Well, that you miss it, probably one. But, you know, a ball with a spin like that is just really hard to play, right? Because you just don't know what it's going to do. And it's not acting normal. It's not its true, you know, spin off the bat. And that's really one of the toughest balls to play as an infielder.
First pitch to Paulson, bounce foul behind first. It's 0-1 to the first baseman, who's 0 for 2 in the game with a foul out to left and a strikeout. Gallagher leads off of first base, with the Tar Heels up on South Carolina 2-1 in the bottom of 5. Prisco sets from the third base side of the bump, and Paulson chops a 2-hopper to second base. Sutter gets to this one, and he starts a 4-6-3 double play. Sutter to Scobie to Hollins. And the Gamecocks are now just a single out away from getting off the field in the bottom of 5. As we said earlier, this is not a Gamecock team known for turning 2. That's just their 15th on the season. Right around 150th in the country. But that one was played about as well as you can.
Yeah, that's a big one right there. Especially you get the leadoff guy on in the inning, and then you can roll a double play like that. It's really big. Because it can just kind of shut the momentum down, right?
Winslow struck out twice today. Takes a ball downstairs. 1-0 to the Tar Heels DH.
Yeah, and since the first inning, there just hasn't been a lot going on in this game. It's been a lot of good pitching and good defense, and some big moments for the pitchers getting out of jams.
A swinging strike 2. Or make that a swinging strike 1 to make it 1-1. Winslow had a big weekend against Louisville. Homered in that final game. 4 for 11, 3 runs scored, 2 driven in. He played well against a Cardinal team that was just that close to pulling out a road series win. As a pitch over the outside corner makes it 1-2 again. If you missed Sunday's game, Carolina was down 4-2 in the bottom of the 8th. With 2 down, Carolina scores 5 runs to eventually go on to win 7-6 and win the series. The 1-2 from the lefty to the righty. Bounces into the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Winslow. There's some bodies around the South Carolina bullpen, but I wouldn't necessarily say anybody right now is getting ready. Prisco has been more than solid through 3 1/3. Pitch count just over 50 as he tries to size up Winslow. And he got him again. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Prisco gets through the 5th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. Pitching and defense, the order of the day from the Queen City. Heels and Gamecocks go to the 6th. Carolina leads South Carolina 2-1. This is Tar Heel baseball.
When it comes to your home or business, you need a plumbing and HVAC team on your side. Count on the team that the Tar Heels trust with Brown Brothers Plumbing and
2-1, entering the 6th with former Diamond Heel Colby Wilkerson. I'm Dave Nathan. Such a pleasure to have you with us tonight. One of the great days and nights on the college baseball calendar for these two programs to get together and do this at least once during the season. It's the 10th time that we've played a game like this in this series. Carolina's won 5 out of the previous 9. As Walker McDuffie begins the 6th, it's a strike to Talmadge LeCroy, a right-handed hitter who's 1 for 2. Behind in the count, 0-1. It's the first time LeCroy has seen McDuffie tonight. As the second pitch ranges outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. The count to the catcher. Next pitch, McDuffie goes to the slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes to LeCroy. Grew up in Belton, South Carolina, named for John Belton O'Neill, the first president of Columbia and Greenville Railroad. Of course, Colby, you already knew that. Ground ball past third base, foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. LeCroy had 6 consecutive multi-hit games between February 17th and February 25th, and he did it against all different teams: Wofford, Gardner-Webb, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Queens. As he reaches out and pokes a pop-up behind the plate, Heineck loses the mask, but he can't get the ball about a row deep in the seats out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count to LeCroy. What's that say about a guy who enjoys that amount of success against a different team, different guys every night out for roughly a week in a row?
Yeah, I mean, you want to keep that going, right? As long as you can, just having that great success, and that's what you're trying to do night in and night out, no matter who you're playing.
The 1-2. No success here, unless you're Walker McDuffie. That is a swing and a miss, strike 3. And McDuffie, get this, he's K'd 5 straight, and that's 1 down in the 6th. What sophomore slump, huh?
Yeah, he looks good. He looks really good tonight. Sometimes it's not bad to, you know, have a little struggle, and right, you know, because sometimes it might wake you up, right? And you come out there and start dominating like he is right now.
Strike call to Jake Randolph makes it 0-1. To be fair to McDuffie, he set the bar so high last year. He was as elite as they come. Fastball outside evens things to Randolph. 1-1. Jake had an RBI single in the 1st and was the 5th strikeout victim of Flannery in the 4th. Foul ball.
Well, look, I'm lucky enough to be around sometimes and be involved a little bit with Carolina baseball. And great kid, great family, and, you know, he works hard. So no matter what the results are, he's going to put in that work, and he's seeing those results tonight.
Downstairs on the 1-2 makes it 2-2. So that's a total of 10 strikeouts if you combine what Flannery and McDuffie have done, and we are just in the 6th. Tar Heels up 2-1 on the Gamecocks. 1 down, bases clear. The 2-2 for McDuffie. Ricocheted foul. Randolph hangs in there. Randolph played for Presbyterian the previous 3 years. He was in that game that wasn't last year against the Tar Heels. That was postponed after we got started because of bad weather. 2-2. Laced into left. French can't get there in time. It's a base hit. And somebody's finally gotten to McDuffie, ending the stretch of 5 consecutive strikeouts and 6 in a row that he set down. Good piece of hitting by Randolph, who had a 2 RBI double in that Presbyterian Carolina game, also a strikeout. The odd thing about that game, Colby, was that was supposed to be the first ever meeting between the Blue Hose and Tar Heels. So the next time those two teams get together, it'll be the second first ever meeting of the Tar Heels and Blue Hose. Pitch out of the zone to Evans. A ball and no strikes to the left fielder, who's gone fly out and walk. Evans, another Florence Darlington Tech guy, was a JUCO All-America in 2025 when he hit .453 with 10 homers and 75 RBIs. 1-0. And that is a wipeout pitch by McDuffie. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Evans made a couple of trips to the junior college World Series, and you know, for guys that play at that level, Colby, that is as good as it gets. The 1-1. Knock foul right side. 1-2.
Yeah, look, no matter where you're playing and what level it is, if you want to go to the championship, right? If you're playing in the championship, that says a lot about the program, you know, the players you have, and that's what you want to do at the end of every year.
McDuffie from out of the stretch. Randolph, slight lead at first, held by Paulson. 1-2 to the plate. And how about strike three? Swing and a miss on the elevated fastball, and it is deja vu all over again as McDuffie strikes out his 6th Gamecock of the ball game. Logan Sutter next up. He was the 2nd strikeout of Flannery back in the 2nd. The first to face McDuffie when he walked in the 4th. 2-1 Tar Heels in the 6th with 2 down and Randolph at first base. The pitch outside. 1-0. I talked to Jake Knapp about going from the junior college ranks to the World Series, and he said, I think this was a conversation we had at the Indiana State Regional a few years back, that you go from having a few hundred fans maybe at one of your games to 5 figures worth. And it is super impressive to be in the spotlight for some of those contests as a foul ball makes it 1-1 to Sutter.
Yeah, well, you grow up playing baseball, it's exactly where you want to be, right? So for some of those guys, it's just surreal to be in that moment, but they're also like, they were born for that.
McDuffie rocks and fires a strike call at the knees. Moves
And man,
the count to 1-2.
Was Jake Knapp born for it? I mean, whew, that kid can sling it.
Set a Carolina record last year, going 14-0. As impressive a season as anybody has ever had on the mound for the Tar Heels. The 1-2. McDuffie lunges and throws outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to Sutter. 14-0 is impressive for obvious reasons. But when you're doing it against the other team's best pitcher on those Friday nights in a league like this, I don't even think it begins to tell the story of just how impressive a year it was until you dig way deep in the weeds and figure out some of the other guys that were pitching that he had to go up against.
Yeah, well, you know, earlier in his career, a little up and down, and then you get injured like that, and it's really tough, and, you know, you could sit and pout about it, but, you know, he went straight to work, and great guy, great teammate, and really good pitcher. Can really throw it, and he's a big guy, man. That ball looks hard coming out of his hand.
3 balls and 2 strikes, the count to Sutter. Big pitch here from McDuffie. And that's as big as they get. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on the off-speed stuff. 7 strikeouts in the ball game for Walker McDuffie. Randolph left at first, and the Gamecocks go scoreless in the 6th. Heels back to the plate with Hull, Heineck, and Howe. It's the 5, 6, and 7 spots due up in Coach Forbes' lineup. Our score remains the same. Carolina 2 and South Carolina 1. It's Diamond Heels baseball.
You sit in traffic now, but
The plate in the bottom half of the 6th, holding a 2-1 advantage over South Carolina. Logan Prisco has been just what the doctor ordered for the Gamecocks after Chicoli went just the 1st inning and a 3rd. Prisco has held Carolina at bay since he entered with 1 down in the 2nd inning. And it's 2nd time through the order for Prisco as he gets a look at Owen Hall here who's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out. Whole lanky lefty at the plate. Prisco delivers. Pitch was outside, but Hull took a swing anyway. 0-1 of the Tar Heels center fielder. Hull has reached in his last 11. Went 5 for 12 against Louisville over the weekend with a pair of doubles, 2 runs scored, and 3 driven in. The 0-1. Swing and a miss on the slider, and it's 0-2. A lot of that damage Hull did was in game 1 when the Tar Heels won 11-1. That was a run roll win in 8 innings. Louisville, though, a credit to their program, bounces back, shuts out Carolina the following day, and takes the Heels to the brink on Sunday. Carolina wins the series and wins that third game by a final score of 7-6 as Hull turns on a pitch and serves it into shallow right center field. It's a leadoff single for Hull, second consecutive inning the Tar Heels have led off with a base hit. Colin Heineck approaches to hit next from the right side. Earlier in the season, Colby, I wonder how that AB would have gone for Hull. At this point, where your average is well up above 300, I think we all have an idea of where it's going.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, sometimes all it takes is to get a couple to fall, right? And you know, then momentum takes over and the confidence comes back. And when he gets on, like I say, it's you know, we got to pick off right there. He can really run. So it's a lot of trouble for the other team, and, you know, it puts pressure on the defense, and most importantly, it puts pressure on the pitcher.
Hull has reached in 12 consecutive after the single. Heineck 1 for 2 with a single of his own at the plate. Second throw over as Prisco may be nearing the end of his evening. Through 3 2/3, South Carolina's lefty has uncorked 55 pitches. 39 have been for strikes. Here's a pitch. Gets by the swing of Heineck. Off speed, 0-1.
And not only do the Gamecocks got the bullpen, the Heels also got the bullpen up and going.
Next pitch to Heineck. Bouncing ball over to third base. Craddock throws to first. Big hop. Hollins collects. 5-3. Heineck set down. That's a poised play by Craddock. He knew the only out he could get was at first base. Hull gets over to second. Always want to have it in your mind. What are you going to do if the ball comes to me? I know you went through that a bunch, Colby, at second and short. And Craddock, he played that like a pro.
Yeah, for sure. Right there, the ball's not hit, you know, too hard, right? But you still got to get to it pretty quick and get rid of it. And he one-hopped it over there pretty good for the first baseman and get the out.
That brings Howe to the plate. 0 for 1 with a walk. Off-speed pitch. Leaves LeCroy lurching for it. Outside, 1-0. Not much wind to speak of here tonight, but temperature should be plummeting into the 40s before all said and done. It's a cool night. Next pitch. Ground ball to second base. Sutter hoovers it up and throws to first for the second out of the inning. Down to third goes Hull, and time will tell if Cooper Nicholson can drive in a run with 2 down. He drove everybody home safely on Friday night with a 2-run homer to give Carolina that 11-1 margin in 8 innings. That home run for Nicholson was his 4th on the season, and it sent a big message to Louisville, as this might be it for Prisco. Does South Carolina want some sort of a matchup?
Well, it looks like Monty was very pleased right there with Prisco. Come out clapping right away. Kept the Gamecocks in this game 2-1. Pass it on to your teammate. I'll tell you what, if I was coming in this game tonight, I want to be getting up pretty early. Getting out there and moving, because it's cold. I mean, we can feel it coming right here in the booth. It's dry. The sun's gone down now. You know, it's dropping probably a degree every couple 30 minutes. I mean, it's pretty chilly.
For all the folks that say you guys have it so easy up there in the booth, We got to play with the windows up. We got to feel it. We got to smell it. We got to live it.
Hey, it's colder than they think up here, right?
Cullen Horowitz gets the ball out of the pen for South Carolina. 6'4" senior righty from Shepherdstown, West Virginia, by way of Samford. Horowitz makes his third appearance on the year. Hasn't factored into a decision. His ERA is 4.5. Opponents hitting .250 off of Horowitz. Now, Colby, I'm going to give you the opportunity of a lifetime because typically on radio, this is what we do with our color analyst, okay? You were flipping through some scores a little earlier. You were showing me who was winning and what inning it was in. I'm going to give you an opportunity live and on the air to give us your first ever scoreboard and run through some of the other scores happening right now in the ACC.
Let me pull it up. Let me pull it back up. We can do that. I can do that.
I'll get us started off here in Charlotte. Carolina leads South Carolina by a score of 2-1 in the 6th. The Tar Heels have a runner at third and 2 down. And Cooper Nicholson coming to the plate. I will let you take it from here, partner.
All right, I'll take it. We got Virginia, Maryland. Bottom 8, 7-6 Virginia. We got Florida State, Florida. Big rivalry right there. 5-0 Florida in the bottom 8. Got NC State, Campbell. Little in-state action. Campbell up 7-2 in top 8. I think that's what we got here tonight. Oh, Miami, FAU. 10-6 Miami, top 7.
When your number is called, Colby Wilkerson delivers.
There you go, right there. Hey, you got to make the people happy.
Horowitz looks like he's gotten in his warm-up tosses. Well, what did you like about Prisco's performance, Colby, that the numbers don't tell you?
Well, when you come in down, it's very tough, right? You got to. It's a job that, you know, it takes a particular person to be good at, right? You got to come in. You want to keep it there. There's more pressure than, you know, a 0-0 ball game.
First pitch to Nicholson, a strike.
And I think Prisco did very well. He mixed it up on the Tar Heel hitters, and, you know, he got out of some big moments when, you know, some runners got on. He was able to make a big pitch and get out of it. So hats off to him, and that's exactly what the Gamecocks wanted.
The 0-1 to Nicholson. Couldn't hold off. Checked his swing, strike 2. Prisco had only thrown 11 2/3 the entire season before tonight. He goes 4 1/3, 4 hits, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. The book's not totally closed on him. It will be, though, if Horowitz can get his mates off the field. The 0-2. Outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now, what about the distraction of Hull over at third base? He gets that big secondary lead off the bag. He's almost halfway to the plate by the time Horowitz gets into his motion.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier. When he gets on base, it's tough for the defense because it's a big distraction. He can run. He's got really good speed.
Another pitch. This one's outside, and it gets away from LeCroy. Hull dives in across home plate, and the Tar Heels lead South Carolina by a score of 3-1. Well, that's the mistake you can't make with a runner at third base. A wild pitch with 2 outs. Carolina's doubled its lead. A leadoff single by Hull. Advances to second on a ground ball by Heine. Gets to third on a ground ball by Howe. And scores on a wild pitch. 3-1 Carolina. And the count to Nicholson, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The pitch. Wide, 3-2. French would be next. This has been such a pitching and defense game. It's hard to believe that there's only 2 Tar Heels who haven't reached yet, and it's Paulson and Winslow. The payoff. Low and away, ball 4. The inning continues for French, who got aboard via fielder's choice when Prisco came in back in the 2nd. Took a walk in the 4th. Heels up 3-1 in the 6th. 2 down, a runner at first. French from the left side. A bunch of real estate open in right center if he can find that spot. First offering wide to the Tampa native. 1-0. Carter's career was just getting started. Colby, as yours was coming to a conclusion, like two ships passing in the night. What do you remember about a young Carter French coming into this program?
He really can run. He's faster than people think. He can play a great outfield, get to a lot of balls. Very smart, high baseball IQ. Not only is he really smart with the books, but he's got a great baseball IQ, and he's a great teammate. And he really wants to help the Tar Heels win.
French ahead in the count, 2-0. Nicholson scant lead off of first. Hollins holds him. The pitch. French thought that was low. Home plate umpire Michael Snover disagrees, calls it a strike. 94-mile-per-hour fastball. So Horowitz has got some live stuff out there. Just out of the bullpen, supplanting Prisco, who has that run charged to him. 3-1 our score. Heels up in the sixth. The pitch. Half swing and a miss. French. Once he got that bat moving, he couldn't hold off. 2-2 to the Tar Heels left fielder. If South Carolina can end the inning, Uhas, Hollins, Bach, 8, 9, and 1 to hit in the seventh. The 2-2 from the righty to the lefty. It's low and away. Little surprised Nicholson got as big a jump off the bag as he did. LeCroy looks it back over to first. 3 balls and 2 strikes, the count to French. Well, how much leeway does Horowitz have here if he walks the first 2 guys that he faces?
Well, right now the problem is with him is his command. He's been a little bit all over the place right here. He's looking to dial it in.
Payoff pitch. French took a swing, nubbed it foul behind the plate. It remains a full count.
Like I said, when Owen gets on base, you know, pitchers don't even realize it sometimes. They just start working a little fast and they're out of rhythm of their delivery, right? Because, you know, he's putting so much pressure on you because he can run. And I think that's kind of what's happened right here, and he's just looking to get his breath under control and find the zone.
Nicholson just took a walk. He's at first base. Hollins placed behind the runner. The 3-2. French, little nubber that falls into the glove of the shortstop Scobie on the pop out to shortstop. Carter made contact but hit it right to Scobie, left of second base, and that ends the inning. Carolina, though, gets that leadoff single from Hull, turns it into a run. That was the only hit of the inning, no errors, and Nicholson left stranded at first base. We have played 6 from the Queen City, and Carolina has just added to its lead. 3-1 our score. Tar Heels lead the Gamecocks on our way to the 7th. This is Carolina baseball.
Need to gear up for game day? The Tar Heel Team Store is the
What an evening it was. Ties his career high with 7 strikeouts and needed just 2 2/3 innings to get it done. Allowed just the 1 hit and held South Carolina at bay through the middle innings as Carolina takes a 3-1 lead into the 7th. Jackson Rose gets the call out of the bullpen. Another highly touted first-year Tar Heel. Rose, freshman lefty from out of Woodstock, Georgia. 1-0 on the year with an ERA of 1.74. This is just his 7th appearance. He started a game earlier Opponents hitting 162 off of Rose.
Yep, Rose looks very good early in his career right here for the Tar Heels. This is an arm the Tar Heels can really be excited about for the future. The thing I like about Rose the most is he's got a great poise up there. He looks in control, he looks in command, and he kind of has some swagger and confidence up there, and that's exactly what you need as a freshman.
First pitch of ball to the righty Juhas. 1-0. Next offering. Smack to left. French barely has to move as he puts the glove up over his head. F7. One down in the 7th. Hollins to the plate. Boy, that ball just jumped off the bat of Juhas, but right to the Tar Heel outfielder. Rose delivers wide to the righty Hollins. 1-0. South Carolina's first baseman singled in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. We're in the 7th. 3-1 Heels. The second pitch, this one in the zone for a strike. 1-1 to Hollins. Homegrown kid out of Lexington, South Carolina. The 1-1. Couldn't touch the fastball. 1-2. He was the 5th overall player in the state of South Carolina coming out of high school. One of the 10 best first basemen in the entire country. And he's got a ton of lineage to this program. The 1-2. Bouncing ball back through the middle, and that'll see its way into center field. Hollins aboard with a 1-out single. That'll do his father Dave proud. His papa hit 31 home runs for the Gamecocks and then knocked 112 out of the park in the big leagues.
Yep, there you go.
Was a 12-year major leaguer, an all-star. And I'll tell you what, he had a big moment in the NLCS off of Greg Maddux. Homered off of Maddux in a Braves-Phillies NLCS.
Yeah,
1993.
That's what we're talking about. That's pretty cool. Looks like he has a good person to go to, you know, for advice.
First pitch misses to Bach, so it's 1-0. Rose's second offering, a 56-footer. Heineck deflects it in front of the plate. Hollins doesn't go anywhere.
I tell you what, there's a lot to like on Rose. You know, he's got to start and got some appearances under his belt, but this is definitely the biggest game he's been a part of.
It's not just a big game, it's a big moment with our score. Carolina 3, South Carolina 1 in the 7th. 1 out, 1 on. The 2-0. Just missed the outside corner. 3-0. Bach has flied out, hit into a double play, and struck out. Small lead for Hollins over at first. Rose is 3-0. Lands in the zone, 3-1. Out of the stretch, the lefty throws over to first base. Hollins back in plenty of time. Hasn't even attempted a steal yet this year, but he has turned on the offense as of late. Last weekend against Arkansas, Hollins was 4 for 12, 2 runs scored, 2 driven in, also doubled against the Hogs. 3-1. Rose paints the outside corner, and I think Bach's the last one to know it. Runner takes off from first down to second. Heineck throws him out. What a disaster for South Carolina, and what a gift for the Tar Heels. Wow. So on what Bach thought was ball 4 wasn't, and while Hollins was taking off for second, Heineck had the presence of mind to throw a laser beam down, and he got him.
Yeah, I don't even know if that was a straight-up steal right there. I think he got a big secondary and just assumed that was a ball and just kind of got caught up in no man's land.
Payoff pitch, and wouldn't this be a way to end the inning now? Fouled off, still 3-2. So Juhas flied out to French to begin the inning. Hollins got aboard with a single. And yeah, you're right, for a guy that hasn't even attempted a stolen base all year, if everybody on South Carolina's roster thought that was ball 4, As there's a good piece of contact, a fly ball hit deep to center field, but there's Owen Hall traipsing back pedaling and reaching up. Look what he's got. It's the third out of the inning. And Colby, your old buddy, Uncle Mo, wearing Carolina blue right now as we get ready to stretch. Jackson Rose gets through the inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left. Wild sequence on what the Gamecocks thought was ball 4. Turned out to be a strike and a caught stealing. 3-1 Tar Heels remains our score. To the bottom of the 7th we go after this. This is Diamond Heels baseball. Temperatures continue to plummet in uptown Charlotte as Carolina continues to hold a 3-1 lead over South Carolina. Boy, Colby, take us through that last sequence where Hollins thought he had a walk to, or actually Bach thought he had a walk. Hollins thought he was going to get down to second. The call was a strike.
Like a walk-off home.
And then all of a sudden, you throw out a runner at second base. Tar Heels certainly kept their wits about them.
Yeah, it was almost like a delay steal there, right? Like he just kind of got caught in no man's land and just kind of had to commit because he couldn't come back to first. And Heinrich right there, great job to be aware, especially with a lefty in the box. And so your vision's kind of blocked right there, but he was able to still get the runner, and it turned out very good for the Tar Heels and not so good for the Gamecocks.
A ball to Schaffner puts him head in the count 1-0. Next pitch. Fought it off and fouled it back. 1-1. Jake has singled and scored, grounded out 1 for 3 in today's game. Tar Heels up 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th. The outs beginning to dwindle for the Gamecocks. Horowitz remains on the bump. And Schaffner clangs another pitch foul. Falls behind 1-2. Boston Flannery got the start for the Heels, went 3 1/3, struck out 5, and then Walker McDuffie K'd 7 over the next 2 2/3 before Jackson Rose got the Heels through the 7th. The pitch to Schaffner, turns and pulls a ground ball, foul behind first base. Brian Miller, the first base umpire, puts both his hands in the sky to call things dead. Chicoli got the start for South Carolina, went just an inning and a third, but credit Logan Prisco, who K'd 5 over the course of 4 1/3, for keeping the Tar Heels offense under wraps. The 1-2 inside to Schaffner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You know Jake's not afraid of these cool North Carolina nights. Growing up in Janesville, Wisconsin, football player, hockey player, North Dakota State transfer. I mean, if it's 55 degrees in March, he's happy.
Yeah, he should feel really good tonight. I mean, like you said, I just put a sweatshirt on. I'm cold. I don't like the cold either.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Schaffner. You know, Colby, I get older every year we do this, and I've still not met anybody who on their travels to and fro says, man, I wish it was colder.
I would agree. I mean, I like it warm. What can I say?
The payoff pitch to Schaffner, outside in ball 4. Jake reaches for the second time. Second walk issued by Horowitz, and it brings Gallagher to the plate.
Well, you know this. You're in North Carolina. It can be 90 one day and then 40 the next.
100%. You must have seen my son and I sledding last month, about a week before all the bushes started to bloom. I mean, it was crazy.
Some things never change.
We went from 20 degrees in ice to 65 degrees and perfect in about 8 days. Here's Gallagher. Look out.
Well, look, if you like all the seasons, this is a place. We got the mountains.
Yeah.
We got the beach.
Coast.
We got the winter. We got the summer, spring,
And
fall.
You can check all those boxes in one day.
There you go.
A ball and no strikes to count to Gallagher. He's 2 for 3, and he's ahead in the count 2-0. The big one, the 2-run homer in the first that put the Heels up 2-1. Carolina got a little insurance on a wild pitch last inning. Owen Hull scored from third base. So it's 3-1. Carolina's out-hit South Carolina 6-5. Neither team has committed an error. And defensively, Colby, these teams are on opposite sides of the universe. Carolina, one of the best 30 fielding teams in the country, 981 fielding percentage. South Carolina's closer to 250th in the country, just above 960.
Yeah, well, pitching and defense wins games. So, you know, when you're not fielding it, you better be hitting it very well.
South Carolina wants to chat things over on the bump. Haven't seen a move made yet to the bullpen, but there is some action brewing with a lefty behind the right field line. Horowitz has only been out there for a third of an inning. He's walked 2 of the 3 that he's faced. Home plate umpire Michael Snover goes out there to break up the party, and this is it for Horowitz. Well, if you were with us at the beginning of our broadcast, we said 10 games ago when this series was in its infancy, better than 10,000 showed up to see the Tar Heels and Gamecocks in what was the largest ever attendance to see a regular season college baseball game in the state of North Carolina. We're not quite at 10,000 tonight, Colby. Almost made it to 3,000. Attendance 2,960. And I would say both fan bases equally represented. Carolina with Carolina blue and white behind the third base dugout. Garnet black behind the first base dugout. 2 fan bases that show up and show out whenever their teams come to play. So Horowitz is done, and Hudson Lee's night is just beginning. 6'4" lefty from out of Spartanburg. Like interim head coach Monty Lee, who was at Clemson previously. Well, so was Lee. Makes his 11th appearance, ERA of 2.35. Opponents hitting a paltry .043 off the southpaw. Colby, the Tar Heels will be at Clemson next month. We'll be at Notre Dame this weekend. This conference can take you a lot of different places now. Were there favorite stops you had on the map when you were playing at Carolina?
Yeah, surprise! You're gonna laugh at this because we talked about how cold it is in Pittsburgh, but man, that place has some good food.
Yep.
And a good milkshake. And
Yep.
I love good food. I love a good steak, and I love a good dessert. So that was one of my favorites, surprisingly. Now playing there was a little different just because it was so cold. I had some success, thankfully, for the Tar Heels, but don't like playing that much in the cold. Florida State's a very cool place to go. A lot of history there in the ACC, and that's a cool park to play in. And yeah, that's honestly those 2 places right there are my favorites. The rest of them, not so much.
Well, you're right about Pittsburgh. You catch that place on the right day, you can enjoy some ball and a burger, a milkshake, or anything else. That is a restaurant town. And plus, with where the Tar Heels stay, you're just across the Clemente Bridge from the Pirates ballpark, and that's one of the best in the bigs. Here's Lee's first pitch. outside. Gallagher surges further out in front, 3-0. Lee hasn't faced the Tar Heels before, whether it was at Clemson or when he was at Wake Forest. Well-traveled lefty. 3-0, and Gallagher takes a 4-pitch walk.
Look, I tell you what, he's had 2 balls tonight. I don't know how they haven't hit him. I mean, from where we're sitting, it looks like they're just going to drill him.
Gallagher aboard for the 3rd time. Schaffner down to second base. Paulson to the plate. Very much due. 0 for 3. Carolina leads South Carolina 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Nearing 9 p.m. on a Tuesday night. This one got started at 6:36. Lefty-lefty matchup between these two. The pitch. Taken low. A ball and no strikes to Pauly. Fouled out to left, struck out, and hit into a 4-6-3 double play. Eric doubled in his last outing on Sunday against Louisville. As he bounces to the right side of the infield, only play Hollins can make is to step on first, and that's what we call first baseman on first baseman crime. 3 unassisted. Paulson, the first out of the inning, but he advances both runners. Schaffner gets down to third base, Gallagher to second, and Macon Winslow has a golden opportunity to add to this 3-1 Carolina lead. That double, by the way, Paulson had on Sunday, it was no ordinary double. It was a bases clearing double in that 5-run 8th, willing Carolina back to beat Louisville 7-6.
Yeah, well, look, he got a pitch away, and he smoked it in the left center gap, hit it right where it was thrown.
Infield comes in. Winslow from the right side. The pitch. Lingers low, 1-0. Macon's had a tough day at the plate, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Here's a guy that reached that first Louisville game 5 separate times. He's been kept off base the last 4 times he's been at the plate going back to Sunday. The 1-0. Downstairs, 2-0 to the Carolina DH.
Well, you know, I know the Gamecocks are throwing to him right here, but, you know, you got first open, but it's getting late in the game, but you would like to think that the lefty-on-lefty matchup right here with the bases loaded would be better and more ideal for them, but we'll see what they do here.
The pitch. Delayed strike call over the inside corner. 2-1 to Winslow. That got some oohs and some ahs. As a hitter, though, Colby, you got to put it behind you. Next pitch, right?
That's right. Next pitch. I really didn't communicate a lot with the catcher or umpires back there. I just kind of let the game go. Short
Another
memory.
Ball inside. 3-1.
Baseball's a long game. You know, you got to have a short memory up there. We can't worry about that strike before, right?
Correct. There's ball 4. Outside to Winslow. It's another wild one. It'll score another Carolina run. Schaffner in from third. Scores. 4-1 Tar Heels. Colby, there's an old adage out there. The team that makes the fewest mistakes will win the game. Carolina hasn't played its best game, but it's not made the mistake that'll cost them. And South Carolina gives up another run, falling behind by a score of 4-1.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. Most of the time that's the case. And right there is wild pitch. I think we got to come up with that for the catcher right there. But, you know, it's tough, right? You're not expecting it to be that much of a wild pitch. And that's the second time that's happened tonight for the Gamecocks, and the Tar Heels have taken advantage of it.
So Horowitz, after a wobbly outing, comes off. And South Carolina will head back to its bullpen. Riley Goodman gets the call this time. 6'2" righty from out of Memphis by way of Christian Brothers High School. Goodman steps into a spot where the Tar Heels have runners at first and third. with one down. Gamecocks trail 4-1. Colby, you ever been a part of a game where you get 2 runs in 2 separate innings off of 2 wild pitches?
I'm sure I have. I can't quite remember it, to the date, but I'm sure I've been a part of it. I've played in a lot of games, so I'm sure I've been a part of at least one game like that.
So Lee, like Horowitz, goes just a third of an inning. And Riley Goodman tries to see the Gamecocks out of the 7th and into the 8th. Owen Hull next up for Carolina. Hull has singled and scored a run. Well, Colby, while we wait on Goodman to finish up his warm-up routine, some breaking news back home in Chapel Hill. Hubert Davis and the Carolina basketball program have parted ways. And for what had been a long last several days, I'm sure for both parties, tomorrow in some ways begins a new era as another pitch gets by the catcher Lee Croy down to second base. Goes Winslow on a pass ball. Count to Hull makes it 1-0. I know there's been an awful lot of curiosity, not just around our area but around the country, when one of the premier jobs in a sport like Carolina basketball has any question marks around it. People naturally gravitate and want to know. And what we do know right now is that Hubert Davis is no longer the head basketball coach at Carolina. Ends a 5-year stretch that saw the Heels get to a national championship game on one end of the spectrum. As a pitch misses inside to make it 2-0. And then on the other side of the spectrum, there was a year where the Tar Heels missed the NCAA tournament. Dropped a couple of round of 64 games in between. Won an ACC regular season title. Made it to a Sweet 16. As the 2-0 called a strike to make it 2-1. Next offering from the righty to the lefty. Bunt shown, put down. It is a good one. Third base side. It'll do the trick and score a run. Gallagher taps home plate. It is 5-1. What an expert squeeze by Owen Hull, making it a 4-run Carolina lead.
We talked about it earlier. Owen can really run, and right there he puts the bunt down, and you get a run in, and you also get a hit right there, and that's exactly what Owen can do. Not only can he hit, he can also bunt and use his legs. And then speaking of Carolina, I've been a Tar Heel my whole life, and sometimes you hate to see that to part ways with another former great Tar Heel, but when you're in the Carolina Blue, you really want to win, and the national championship's where you got to be.
As soon as Hull gets to first base, he takes off and steals second on the pitch to the plate. It's a ball, and it's 1-0 to Heineck. I can remember years and years ago when Coach Smith decided to hang it up right before the season started and the transition was made to Bill Guthridge. And days like those just don't come around very often, as there's a wicked cue shot into the South Carolina bullpen to make it 0-2.
Yeah, I've been a part of some days like that. The first day I was on campus in Chapel Hill, Coach Fox retired.
Your first year was an interesting one, not just in Carolina baseball, but just in global terms, Colby, going from 2020 in high school to 2021 as another pitch gets away from the catcher. Will that allow Winslow to score? Yes, he's in, face first. And the Tar Heels have another run, 6-1. And that's the third time, Colby, you used to wear number 3, the third time a ball has gotten away from the catcher where the Tar Heels have scored a run.
Yeah, one of them was a real wild pitch, and there was really nothing that they could do. But these last two have I thought have been catchable, and they just got away, and the Tar Heels have been able to take advantage of it. And that was really close right there at home, but Winslow made a good read.
So a runner at third. This has been a 3-run inning. There's still just the one out as Heineck rips a wicked line drive into the gap in left center field. It falls. Holes in from third. Heineck wants 2. Give him 2. It's a double. An RBI. The lead has swelled to 7-1. It's a patented 4-run 7th for the boys in Carolina blue. Two walks, then a ground out by Paulson, which advanced both runners. Another walk to Winslow, a couple of pass balls and a wild pitch, an RBI single and an RBI double have all played a part in a 4-run bottom half of the 7th as the Heels have opened things up and lead by a half dozen. It's 7-1. Goodman and Howe face off against one another. Pitch lands in the zone for a strike. 0-1. So to get back to your personal story here with coaching transition from Coach Fox to Coach Forbes, I mean, what's that like when you have committed to a coach, you've gotten to a place, and now you're playing for obviously somebody that you know, but it's not necessarily what you expected was going to be the case?
Well, in my case, I grew up watching Carolina baseball, my whole life, and Coach Fox was a coach I really wanted to play for. But, fortunately, Coach Forbes had been with Coach Fox for a very long time, and so had a lot of the staff, and Coach Forbes was able to come in, and he's done a great job. And, obviously being under Coach Fox, they do a lot of similar things, and, that's the Carolina way and the Carolina tradition.
Howe flips a single into left center. That's good to score. Heineck in from second. It's a 5-run inning, a 7-run lead, and an 8-1 score. Carolina over South Carolina. Second consecutive game the Tar Heels have put up a crooked number like this in the late innings.
Well, they really just take advantage of all the mistakes, the Gamecocks had made, whether it's from pass balls or, pitches over the plate with runners in scoring position, and they've been able to do a good job here in this inning. And, up until now, it hasn't been a lot going on in the game since the first, and the Tar Heels have been able to take big advantage in this inning.
Coach Lee points down to the bullpen, wants another pitcher before he even gets on the field of play. Cooper Nicholson will be the 8th Tar Heel to hit this inning, and there's still just one down. Howe at first base. 8-1, Carolina leads. Colby, there have been some wild scores in this game through the years. The Tar Heels won the first one 15-0 in 2016, then 20-5 a year later in 2017. It was a 3-game winning streak after the Heels won 11-3 in 2018. And then things went the way of the Gamecocks for the next handful of years. A 5-2 win in 2019. Didn't play in 2020. That team that you were on in 2021 won 3-2 and 10. Gamecocks won 3 straight after that. 15-2, 5-0, and 2-1. Carolina won 13-8 last year. And so while this was a pitching and defense game for the first 6 innings and change, a lot of the pitching and some of the defense has gone wayward for the folks in black and gray. Cooper Parks, by the way, our next contestant out of the bullpen. 6'2" righty from out of York, South Carolina. Parks appears for the 10th time, a record of 2-1, ERA just over 6.5. Opponents bat .289 against Cooper Parks. Well, what's this like for Jackson Rose? You just came out of the bullpen. You faced 3 guys in the top of the 7th. And now you have to wait for a while. Does Carolina tinker with bringing Rose back, or do you go to another arm to see your way through the final couple of frames?
Well, I mean, they got someone up and moving down there that looks like, I can't really look, Cam Paget, maybe?
It is, yes.
Looks like Cam Paget's down there moving around. You know, it's a cold night. You know, obviously it would be up to, you know, Coach Forrest and the staff and how Rose feels, but you got to think they might be leaning towards bringing in Paget right here.
Paget started last year's game, had a night he'd rather forget. Faced 3 hitters and threw 12 pitches. Took a no decision before the Tar Heels came back and won. This is Cooper Parks and Cooper Nicholson. Runner takes off from first. Throw down to second, and it's into center field. Howe stays put. And this was something that we were told before the game got started. South Carolina's pitchers will give you opportunities to take off, and the Tar Heels, they smell blood in the water.
Yeah, we talked about it just a second ago. They're this inning especially, they're really just taking advantage of any little mistake the Gamecocks have made.
A ball and no strikes to Nicholson. Been on base 3 times tonight. Ball 2 outside. He was hit by a pitch in the 2nd. There was that long review to see if he stepped into it. He did not. He singled in the 4th and then walked in the 6th when Horowitz came in the game. Since Horowitz came in, Lee, Goodman, and now Parks have been on the bump. The 2-0 lands low, and it's 3-0 to Nicholson. Carolina leads 8-1 over South Carolina in the bottom half of the 7th. This was just a 3-1 game when Carolina came to hit. The 3-0 outside and ball 4. The parade of walks continues, and the Tar Heels, they could take some free passes now. 17th in the country and walks taken. And that brings Carter French, the 9th Tar Heel, to the plate this inning with runners at first and second. And just the 1 out. South Carolina pitchers have walked 7, have thrown 3 wild pitches, and have hit 1 batter. Pitch to French is inside. That hit him. So now they've hit 2 batters, and Carolina's loaded the bases. And if Schaffner can do what Paulson did on Sunday and clear the bases, this would be a 10-run game, Colby Wilkerson.
Well, you know, when you have so many free passes and the hit by pitches and wild pitches, right, it just makes those singles and doubles hurt that much more. And the Tar Heels have just been able to take advantage, just complete advantage of this game.
Here's the first pitch to Schaffner. Strike call over the heart of the plate. 0-1 to the shortstop. Scored a couple of runs today for the Tar Heels. He's 1 for 3. Next pitch. 94-mile-per-hour heat. Foul tipped. 0-2. Schaffner back in from the left side against the righty Cooper Parks. Here's the pitch. Schaffner hits a high fly ball, foul left side, out of play. It remains 0-2 to Schaffner. Howe at third base. He had an RBI single to get aboard. Nicholson took a walk. He's at second. French just hit by a pitch at first. Carolina has scored 5 runs in the 7th and leads 8-1 over South Carolina here in Charlotte. The 0-2. High. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Schaffner's got that elbow guard on his right arm. He's got the oven mitt in his back pocket. I mean, he is ready for battle, is he not?
Yeah, he is. That gives you a little swagger up there too, right? Plus, you want to be protected. It's a long season. You want to make it through the whole season without as many bruises as you can prevent, right? And that's exactly what those guards do, and it helps them play the whole season and stay healthy.
What do they say? An ounce of prevention's better than a pound of cure.
There you go.
Foul ball by Schaffner. Keeps the count at 1-2. Pitch clock recycles and begins to count down from 20. Still just the one out in the inning. Sacks packed. And the 1-2 pitch. Schaffner connects and drives a high fly ball to center field. Bach in front of the track makes the catch. It is deep enough to score Howe from third. And the sac fly makes it 9-1 Carolina. Nicholson goes second to third. Heels at the corners with 2 down. Schaffner's got his first RBI and another productive AB. Gallagher walked earlier this inning. He's been on base 3 times. He hits from the right side against Parks. First pitch. Inside. Colby, your guy must have magnets in his pants today. All these pitches are coming in close to Gavin.
He's had some close ones. He's had some close ones, that's for sure.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Big swing by Gallagher and a foul ball on. Well, you get to the 8th. South Carolina's got Craddock, Scobie, and LeCroy due up. Those are the 2, 3, and 4 spots. The 1-1 to Gallagher. Tees off and flies to left center. That's caught, though, by Bach. And that garnet glove that he's got ends the inning. Carolina strikes for 5 runs. Only needed 3 hits. Walks, wild pitches, and pass balls. The undoing of the Gamecocks in the frame. 2 left stranded. And things have opened up in favor of the Tar Heels, who lead 9-1. This is Carolina baseball.
Run to beat your rival, or the play you can remember like it.
Come to the plate down 9-1 after a 5-run 7 for Coach Forbes' bunch. Colby, we get to these late innings, and we like to talk about our peanut fact of the game, which is brought to you by the peanut growers of North Carolina. Last year, North Carolina peanut farmers harvested more than 567 million pounds of peanuts grown by family farms across the state. From our fields to the ballpark, NC Peanuts are always a hit and proud supporters of Tar Heel baseball. Learn more at aboutpeanuts.com. I know that strikes a chord for somebody who grew up in rural North Carolina on a farm of sorts.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, farming feeds families, right? That's how we got to go about it. And I grew up on a tobacco farm, so maybe not necessarily feeding your family, but that's an experience that we could talk about for hours right here on air, and I don't have time to go into all that.
Well, time is dwindling for South Carolina, again down 9-1. Cam Padgett gets the call out of the pen, and he stares down Will Craddock, a strikeout victim 3 times over tonight. Padgett's first pitch Grounded behind third, foul. 0-1. Padgett, another one of those homegrown kids. Grew up in the shadows of Charlotte. Back in this ballpark to pitch once again in his final campaign for the Tar Heels. The 0-1. Big fastball at 92, called a strike. 0-2, the count to Craddock. As Padgett readies to deliver the 0-2. Fly ball golfed into center field. Hull outstretches both of his arms. Gravity does its thing. It always does. And there is the first out of the inning. Craddock retired for the 4th time. It brings KJ Scobie to the plate with nobody on base in the top of the 8th. Heels up by 8, 9-1. It's a righty-righty matchup between these two. And the first pitch grounded to Schaffner. Easy play as he throws to first. A little shortstop on shortstop crime. Scobie grounds out to Schaffner for the 2nd out of the inning. And it's up to LeCroy to keep the top of the 8th going for the folks from Columbia. LeCroy's day got off to a decent start. He singled all the way back in the 1st, but since then, a strikeout against Boston Flannery and a strikeout against Walker McDuffie. Cam Padgett, 3rd arm out of the pen. On the bump currently in the first pitch. Popped up to the left side. Cooper Nicholson near the line in fair territory. Just in front of third base. Gloves it. And that inning as easy as you like for the Tar Heels in the field. 3 up and 3 down. Craddock flies out. Scobie grounds out. And LeCroy pops out. Carolina back to work in the bottom of the 8th with Paulson, Winslow, and Hull. Heels have a 9-1 lead over the Gamecocks. This is Carolina baseball. Half of the 8th, leading South Carolina by a score of 9-1. Colby, the Gamecocks made the move from Paul Mainieri to Monty Lee, hoping that they could jumpstart their season 25 games in. And to this point, while South Carolina got off to a 1-0 start, not much to speak of since that first inning.
Yeah, it's been the Tar Heels night, that's for sure, pretty much all night. And yeah, they made that move to Monty Lee, and it's really tough for your players, right, when changes happen in the middle of the year. But you know, it's still March, so you know it's a long season.
Parks remains on the mound for South Carolina. First pitch is strike to Paulson. Next pitch misses, 1-1. Of course, the change from the other perspective, as we just found out last inning, Carolina basketball and Hubert Davis have parted ways after a 5-year run. Here's the second pitch, or make that the third pitch. Fly ball to center field. Bach backs up, reaches up, and makes the catch. Gallagher flied out to the center fielder to end the 7th. Paulson flies out to center to begin the 8th, and Macon Winslow next up, 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Spring practice got underway today for the Carolina football team. Carolina women's basketball playing into the second week of the NCAA tournament. There is no shortage of things to follow around Chapel Hill. And Colby, we'll be following you off to Montana here shortly for some of your baseball season coming up. I know that's a part of the country that you really love, and of course we know you like baseball. Those two things kind of come together in a great way, don't they?
Yeah, they do for sure. And luckily I'm able to play for a second year out there, and hopefully it'll be a good season for me and the team again as well. And yeah, that's beautiful country out there. Like we talked earlier, farm boy at heart, so that's beautiful land out there. And hopefully it'll be a good time, but for these two teams, hopefully they can keep continuing their seasons and everyone stay healthy and also have great years.
If you're not playing baseball out in the Great West, listen, if you love the outdoors, there's no place better. What do you like to do when you're not at the ballpark?
Honestly, since we play so much, not a lot, but I love the outdoors, and you can go on a hike out there. They got some great state parks that are really cool to see, and you can do some great trout fishing out there as well. So there's a lot of things to do out there, but just like there is here in North Carolina, like we talked about earlier, you got the mountains, you got the beach, so I love North Carolina as well.
Well, we love following careers of former Diamond Heels, and again, one of the best, Colby Wilkerson, from 2021 to 2024, won an ACC championship on this field 4 years ago. Made a trip to Omaha almost 2 full years ago. I can't believe it's gone by that fast. You've experienced some of the high highs that this program has set through the years.
Yeah, and I was just lucky enough that Coach Fox and Coach Forbes and the rest of the staff were able to find me and give me a great opportunity, and it's now led to an opportunity to be up here in the booth with you, so that's cool too. And yeah, I'm a Tar Heel born, and I love the Tar Heels, and I'll always be a Tar Heel, so this is pretty cool for me, not only to play but to also be up here and call the games.
Well, we had this opportunity open up, and there was only one call that we made. I'm glad you picked up. Next man up to the plate for Carolina, Sawyer Black. This is the spot that Macon Winslow had been in. Black, a lefty, takes the ball downstairs, 1-0. Next pitch, hit right to the first baseman, Hollins, on the L3. Colby, you know the coaching staff better than I do, but they often say batting average can be an overrated stat, and while Sawyer Black entered play here today hitting .091, a swing like that, contact like that, I think should look pretty good as the staff evaluates when next to play a kid that's just struggling for reps right now.
Yeah, well, he's a great player, and you saw some highlights of him in his freshman year, and I know he had a little injury right there, but he did some great things for the Tar Heels, and he's just looking to get in there and have, build off moments, like you said, good contact, and Owen rips a ball right here to left. It's going to be extra bases, probably a double, and like he's gotten, off to a rough start, Owen, he kind of builds off a little confidence after you get some balls to fall, right? That can just really help you, and that's something Black's looking forward to the rest of the season. But Owen's got to keep that up for the Tar Heels to win, and that ball was ripped to left.
Double the other way for Hull. That's his third hit of the game. That's the 6th time he's had as many as 3 hits in a game this year. And I'm telling you, I was counting the strides. It only took him about 9 strides to get from home plate to second base, man. He looks like an absolute gazelle out there running the bases.
He can fly, that's for sure. He can cover a lot of ground, and whether it's on the bases or in center, he can really move.
9-1, Carolina leads South Carolina in the bottom of the 8th. Heineck due up next. Takes the ball high, 1-0, off-speed pitch. From our new pitcher on the bump, it's Josh Gregoire. 9th appearance this year for the righty. ERA just over 9. Opponents hitting .212 off of Gregoire. Pushes a slider past the swing and miss of Heineck. 1-1 to the Tar Heel catcher. Collin had RBI double and a run scored back in that 5-run seventh that really opened things up for Carolina. Or make that a 6-run seventh, I beg your pardon, as Heineck takes a strike to make it 1-2. Colby, they'll tell you, never trust what the scoreboard says sometimes. They fixed it now, but for a while that scoreboard had 5 runs up there. The 1-2.
Hey, look, you got more experience up here than than me, so I trust you.
Foul ball. I might have some experience, but I'm still learning every day. Trust the scorebook. Schaffner, Gallagher, Winslow, Hull, Heineck, and Howe all scored last inning. That's 6. The 1-2 to Heineck with Hull at second base. Outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 down in the inning. South Carolina just trying to get to the 9th. Down by 8. The 2-2. Long foul.
Well, look, I've been trying to wheel one up here for us. I mean,
we talked about this before the game, and if one gets up here, my job is to protect the equipment. Colby's job is to protect me.
I might be protecting myself, too.
The 2-2. Swung past it, and the fastball beats Heineck for strike 3. Gregoire gets his man as the Heels go no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left stranded. It is now or never for South Carolina as we go to the top half of the 9th. Carolina holds a 9-1 advantage on the Gamecocks. This is Tar Heel baseball. Carolina 9-1 on our way to the 9th. Along with Colby Wilkerson, I'm Dave Nathan. Cam Padgett looks ready to try to sew this one up for the Tar Heels. Of course, Colby, you know this, there's still work to be done. Sometimes these last few outs are the toughest ones to get. And it's Randolph, Evans, and Sutter if Coach Lee sticks with his guys. Righty-righty showdown between these two. Pitch outside, 1-0.
I'll tell you what, it's 9-1, but I'm sure there's been crazier things happen, right? So you always play till the last out. You play hard, and I know the Tar Heels are going to do that. And Coach Forbes, prides his program and players, playing the right way.
Bouncing ball into the Carolina dugout, foul. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randolph, who's had a pair of singles today, and RBIs 2 for 3. South Carolina just 5 hits in the game. 3 of them came in the first 2 innings. The 1-1 lands on the outer half. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the product of Vero Beach, Florida. Padgett rocks and fires. A fastball that's foul tipped. Heineck couldn't glove it, so we play on. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jake Randolph, leading off the 9th. 9-1, Carolina aiming for its 21st victory. South Carolina with a loss would fall to 13-13. The 1-2. Just low and maybe outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Padgett's one of these guys, Colby, can pitch him in almost any situation, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, he loves to compete. He always has, and he's been a great guy for the Tar Heels to come in, you know, middle of the games, late ends, or even start. So he can do it all, and he gets a K right there for the Tar Heels, and, you know, that's what they're looking forward for him to do all year for the Tar Heels.
That was a competitive pitch. Elevated fastball. Randolph whiffs. Strike 3. The Heels 2 outs away from victory. Here's Patrick Evans. 0 for 2 with a walk. Heels play him straight up around the diamond as he fouls off the first pitch. Took the mask off of our home plate umpire. Everybody looks like they're okay, and it's 0-1 to Evans. Evans trying to extend a 5-game hitting streak. Homered a couple of times earlier this month against USC Upstate. Finding his way through this program in his first year in Columbia. Padgett delivers up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Colby, we were talking about your basketball exploits a little earlier. Cam Padgett's a heck of an athlete. No joke.
He is. He's very athletic. You know, one thing he likes to do a lot, which I don't know if he'll have the opportunity tonight, but when runners get on, man, he loves to pick off. And that speaks to his athleticism as a pitcher. And, you know, he can do a lot of things up there.
2 balls and a strike, the count to Evans with 1 down and the bases clear in the top half of the 9th. Heels 9, Gamecocks 1. Padgett's 2-1 in the zone for a called strike. 2-2, took a little something off that. If you're Evans here, you can't be choosy with 2 strikes, can you?
No, sir.
Padgett deals strike 3. Back to that fastball, and he's K'd a couple in what could be a decisive top half of the 9th. Only Logan Sutter stands between Carolina and win number 21. Sutter has struck out, walked, and struck out. 0 for 2 in the game. Padgett fires a strike to the righty. It's knee high. 0-1. A 6-run 7th has enabled the Tar Heels to lead 9-1. The 0-1 rises up and out of the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, for all the excitement both of these teams' fan bases had coming to the ballpark today, it's been a quiet night as a lot of folks have headed for the hills. Pitch downstairs, 2-1. But Colby, you've been on those bus rides back to town. It'll be a fun environment back up Interstate 85 tonight for Coach Forbes' bunch, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, you don't celebrate too much, but there's a pop-up right there. I think we're going to have a ending. Looks like French come in, makes the catch, and that ends the game. 9-1 Tar Heels. But, yeah, like we were talking about, you're going to have a lot better time on that ride home if you get the win.
Sutter's fly out to left field does indeed end the game, and it cements a 9-1 final score for Carolina. And as we like to say, send it from Chapel Hill to Charlotte and back again. It's a winning Tuesday for Carolina as the Tar Heels improve to 21-4-1 on the season. And we'll head to Notre Dame in a crucial ACC series, having won a 7-6 Sunday game against Louisville and a 9-1 Tuesday game against South Carolina. Colby, what's your big takeaway from tonight's game?
Yeah, well, you know, for the Gamecocks going into the future, you just got to limit your walks and your pass balls, and that's really it for the staff, right? You want to put some more pressure on the defense if you're on the offensive standpoint. From the Tar Heels, your guys that threw today look very good, and you know the offense took advantage of everything, whether if it was missed pitches down the middle of the zone, bunts, walks, hit by pitches, pass balls. So the offense looked very good for the Tar Heels, and you're looking for the pitching to continue that success.
The pitching was successful throughout the night. Boston Flannery goes the first 3 1/3, strikes out a career best 5. Walker McDuffie Ks 7 2 2/3 and gets the win, improving to 5-1 on the year. Chicoli takes the loss, dropping to 1-2. Jackson Rose and Cam Padgett finished the game out, and you like the way they finished this game out as well, setting down the final 7 en route to the win. So these two programs will go their separate ways. South Carolina heads to Athens, Georgia for a date with the 7th-ranked Bulldogs this weekend. The Tar Heels up to South Bend for a top 25 Notre Dame Fighting Irish bunch as we look to separate some contenders from pretenders in a jumbled ACC standing here in late March. Heels and Irish both 6-3. We know this, they won't be when we get to Monday.
That's right. Look, it's been a pleasure to call this game with you, and I had a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what happens the rest of the year for the Tar Heels, and hopefully it turns out to be good.
That's Colby Wilkerson. I'm Dave Nathan. Thank you so much again for spending your Tuesday night with us here at the ballpark. Carolina beats South Carolina. Final score 9-1. This has been a presentation of Carolina Baseball.